And hello, everybody. It is Thursday night at 7 p.m., and everybody in the entire world knows what that means. It's time for us to play Ironsworn. Oh, me and my friends. I am Kevin, also known as Dirty 20 Gaming, and these are my wonderful friends with whom I make up a whole world every Thursday night. To steal a phrase of a very good friend of mine, in no particular order. Tonight, I want to start right beside me with Robin, who is playing Ceridwen for us. And usually I wait till the end of the show to brag about what people do. But on the break tonight, everybody that's watching should immediately go over to our fandom wiki and look at the friggin' art that she did for our characters. It's amazing. I don't know if I did that. Is it there? Did you do it?
Nope, I'll do the
Nope, apparently not. Okay, we'll have to put that link in. But yes, it is in the panel below. I know that. You have to cut and paste to get it to work, but it's there. So that's Robin playing Ceridwen. Down at the bottom, underneath her, we have Karis playing Amala for us, our recently confirmed shaman, whether she believes it or not. And then down below me, we have Austin playing Gear, who is clearly had his spirit animal show up and is oblivious to that, apparently. Utterly oblivious to the fact that he's called White Mane, it's a white wolf. Not all of Gear's gears work. Let's just put it that way.
We're starting off strong, guys.
We start with a no.
The puns.
And I am Kevin playing Bill for you. And Bill's just following along to see what happens. Because it's safer to be behind these people than it is in front of them. So with
Stay away from the pointy end.
with that, we're going to do what we always do, which is the once around the room, where everybody tells us from their character's point of view what happened last week. Any volunteers to begin?
I'll go first.
Okay.
I always thought swearing. Oh, sorry about my voice. I always thought swearing an iron vow was a very formal thing. I mean, the only vows I had sworn were to my master and about completing my apprenticeship. And I've now taken vows for myself, to myself, and for what I think is right. And it's weird. How can the world feel like it's coming into line when nothing is how I was raised to think it was? But it clearly is, right? I mean, we know where we need to go next towards finding Ceridwen's brother. And it was, after we left Kinheim that we started getting some of this clarity. The Crow's augury say we need to go see the Kadi, the ones that came through Kinheim last fall that are now just south of us. I hope progress in finding Cadell helps Ceridwen. I'm really worried about her. Those traders at that camp not far from ours mean her no good. I'm sure about that. And she's troubled, I can tell. Well, she doesn't want to talk about it. Well, we've got Gear's Wolf on it. And I know that she'll keep an eye out for them. Good thing, too. I clearly need to watch out for Weena. She came here in the shadows during Gear's watch last night. What do I do if she tries to force me back? She might have the power to do it as a strong shaman, and as my master, she might have the authority. That's something I'm going to have to think about. I had better make ready.
Oof.
Next.
Let's just start in the deep end. Who wants to follow that?
That was kind of loaded.
I can follow it.
Okay.
We have an idea of someone who can help us find Cadell. Someone, Karis has, well, a group of someone's that Amala has. I caught it.
Yep, you
Amala
did.
has experience with. And hopefully we can catch up with them in time. Hopefully we don't get sidetracked with other things. Ran into a couple of merchant traders from Frostmouth. And that he sent them to give me a message. How dare he? Who? He thinks he can scare me, and that would have worked a long time ago. But not anymore. He knows my position, and I just hope those three are smart enough not to try anything. Because if not, that might get ugly, and I don't want anything to happen that will make things harder for everybody else. And I'd really rather not do anything rash. I really don't want to do anything rash. And that's
Another huge moment of character growth right there. I thought Ceridwen was Welsh for rash. You want to go next or you want to go last?
I can do it.
Okay.
Let me get my gear face on. Where have all these things come from? I don't understand. I surround myself with people who walk through the forest, clomping around, making noise, and it brings people and creatures out of the woodwork. If I were by myself, none of this would happen. There'd be no shadow stalking over us as we watched, as we slept through the night. There'd be no people talking about taking us in our sleep. Maybe the wolf would have found me, but I don't know. I don't believe this. Everything's been turned upside down. I've promised this girl that I'd help her find her brother. Everything is out of balance. I can feel it slipping away. I don't understand. The others, they seem to think this little creature that's been following me is the White Mane. No, I don't see it. White Mane is ferocious, a guardian of the woods. This is just a pup. And the others, I don't know. They call to the light and call to the shadow, but it's all out of balance. They lean on one or the other, and it always turns around to bite them. Nobody listens to me. And still, I threw myself in their way when the shadow manifested itself over the young girl, the shaman. She walks a fine line. And I fear without our guidance, she will fall deep into the darkness.
Oof. Well, Bill would have been at some point during the sleepless night that we just had. Sort of roll over and look at feet. Oh, I don't know, feet. Sometimes I think you and I are the ones what got it easy around here. I mean, look at that one over there. Off to find her brother. He's probably dead, you know, Feet. What are we going to do when she finds out? And then, on top of that, like that's not hard enough, her old past is coming out to haunt her, Feet. That can't be no coincidence. That's fate, that is. Them coming to get her and all. I'm glad I'm not in her shoes. Speaking of not in her shoes, Feet, that shaman. Oh. You know, I never thought I'd say this, Feet. But a little bit of light in the shadow's not so bad. Well, her light, not mine. Mine's all dirty and dark and full of memories. But her light... Feet, I could look at them in the shadows and they still couldn't see me. It's magic. But I wouldn't want to hoe her row either with that shaman bitch of hers back coming from home. And then that big stinky bugger. Christ, I never seen someone so tick in all my life, Feet. How could he not see that that dog is here for him? He muttered something yesterday about it's only a pup. Have you seen yourself in a mirror, boy? A pup indeed, all barking and yarping like some kind of alpha dog. He ain't hardly big enough to fight his way out of the placental sack, that one. But he's got a job, don't he? He's got a force of nature watching him. I wouldn't want to mess up with that sitting behind me, Pete. But I never seen nothing like this, buddy. This here's fate all over. This is somewhat special, Feet. And you and me are part of it. I hope they remember you fondly. I scritch him under his chin. That's it.
Oh, the feats.
All the feats. For anybody who doesn't know, Feet is my 2-foot-long cockroach friend.
Who's canon? It's canon now that he's
and
the
is
cutest
much
thing.
more lovable than Bill is. Absolutely.
Especially now that Robin, our resident artist, has
the
taken
art!
it.
You have to go see the. Yes, you
it's
must see the art.
adorable.
You've got to
Yes,
go see the.
Don't
feet
save
memes.
Bill. Save Feet. If there's ever a situation where you have to choose, save
We
the
won't need to
cockroach.
save Feet. He's a cockroach.
Yeah, you're right. They're indestructible.
He'll outlive all of
Well,
us.
when you put it like
just
that.
a barren wasteland and Feet walking out of it. I knew it.
He's gonna sit on the Iron Throne at the end of all this. Wait, Iron Throne, is that
the cockroach
is that,
king on the Iron Throne? I
is
think you
that
just invented
copyright?
that.
No, not if you
Fair
make,
use.
don't make it.
So, with that,
It's
I
dawn.
believe morning has dawned, and
It's
so
dawn.
I was,
Amala has just been rudely awoken.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
It's just
And
at
actually,
the end of
just the
Gears
two of
Watch.
us are awake. Yeah, just
Yep.
the two of us are awake so far.
Unless you screamed and woke everybody up.
I don't think I screamed this time.
I don't think she did.
No,
Did I scream? No, I don't think I screamed.
I don't
last
think
time.
so.
So yeah, you've just been yoinked from sleep and thrown a couple feet, and now you're
Yep. To face my shaman master in shadow form. Fortunately, dawn came. She didn't find me until the very, very end of the night.
so Gear
Oh,
seeing the shadow kind of into smoke. Looks around. Still on like high alert. What was that?
that was Weena, my shaman master.
Gear will kind of stand up onto his feet. What was she doing here?
I don't know. I don't know what she intends with her wayward apprentice.
She was watching over you while you slept. I had my eyes on the trees. This creature, and I reached down and kind of nudged the wolf pup. If it weren't for her, I don't think I would have seen her in time. I didn't know what she intended to do with you, but it couldn't have been good.
Yeah. I don't know what to do about that.
She has threatened that form.
I don't know. I've never seen her in that form before. She might be the scariest thing I've ever seen in shadow. Or she might simply be a walker. I don't know.
You should tell the others.
Yeah. I suppose so.
I walk over and I kick Ceridwen.
Hey!
She wakes up swinging towards you.
Not
only.
hard. Not hard.
Yeah, she's still swinging and hits you in the knee.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, yeah.
Up. Intruders.
What are you talking about?
Intruders.
Did something happen?
Yes. I walk over towards Bill. Nobody's gonna stop me. I just kick him.
Yeah.
Ceridwen would have looked to Amala.
He goes with the kick and just rolls about 4 times. And then, up on all fours, like he's getting, like he's ready to
Gear is
bolt.
a big dude. Like even if he doesn't do it hard, like.
Oh no, that would have happened if you'd come up and just touched Bill.
And Bill takes a soccer dive. He just like.
Well, it's getting distance, right? He just somersaults about 4 times to get distance, and then up into the stance. And he turns to look, and if it hadn't been you could tell he'd have been gone in the trees.
Amala, what did something happen?
Well, it's pretty clear that Weena knows where I am and probably what I'm doing.
What do you mean?
Oh, she paid us an early morning visit.
All the way out here.
Guilt written all over Bill's face.
I mean, she was in shadow form. She wasn't here physically. She was here in shadow.
Yep. Guilt gets even worse.
Yeah.
Okay. That's new. Are you all right?
Well, yeah, fortunately, she didn't find us until right before dawn. And the sun rose and dispelled her before she could do anything. I strongly suspect this means she knows what happened at home.
I'm sorry, Miss Shaman. I'm sorry. It were my fault that she
What's
come.
it your fault for?
Last night I was thinking, and I thought a very bad thing about her.
I strongly doubt that was it, Bill. If it were that, she would have. If it were that, you would have been the one guarded by gear. No, she was here for me.
Oh, I know that, miss. I just wasn't sure if I'd maybe summoned her by thinking of her. I don't know how this shamaning works.
Probably not. It's more likely my shadow walking.
For a minute, when Gear said there were intruders, I thought those numbskulls had done something stupid.
Oh, Ceridwen, Gear, did they do anything during your watch?
No.
So, I said I went shadow walking. It was
Yes.
during my watch. Well, the wolfren here, and I pat the head of the white wolf. She and I went to the camp of those traitor guys that you know.
Mm-hmm.
And well, they were debating what to do about you. And one of them was sort of taking care of you, was kind of what they were debating, and maybe more less pleasant things and all, and they mentioned fear of some him person thing. I don't know who, but I don't think they feel very constrained by that.
And Ceridwen, even before you're done saying that, starts laughing. Like,
You all right, miss?
Lost it.
no, I would like to see them try.
Oh, well, that's all right then.
There's a reason that they're working with trade. If they could feasibly do anything to me, they wouldn't be traitors.
Well, that's all right.
Right. They did want you to come back because you were the hunter, right?
One of them, yes. And
They don't got any of the other ones with them then?
no, they wouldn't leave. If they did do something, he would be so angry. They know how he gets when someone messes with
He who?
with things.
He who?
One of the elders.
From your circle?
Yes. He doesn't like when people mess with his plans.
You mean like you done?
Have you?
Well, I mean, she pissed off when she was supposed to be staying there hunting.
Oh, it's more personal than that, but it's fine. Not a big deal. She's not laughing. It's but they didn't do anything to you, Amala, right? They didn't do something stupid.
They didn't. Well,
I'll kick their ass if they hurt you.
No. I mean, I was shadow walking. I was riding along with the wolfren here.
That's the second time you used that word. You weren't using that yesterday, were you? Or did I just
Which
not hear
word?
you? Wolfren, or whatever it is.
Oh, well, that's just. Well, I mean, it seems to suit her.
Right down to the ground. It does, yes. Where'd you get the idea for that?
Well, I mean, it's just seems to fit her.
All right.
I kind of glance over at Gear. It just seems to fit.
All right, it certainly does. I just wondered if it meant something. Anyway,
Well, it just means mystery wolf. I mean,
well, see, that's sort of the information I was kind of fishing for earlier, Miss Shaman, miss.
Oh, well, why didn't you just say so?
I thought I did.
Oh.
Ceridwen has yeeted herself out of this conversation. Like, nope. Not answering questions. Not if I don't have to.
Well, I guess we should probably get moving then.
Yeah, Gears tightening up his bindings on his wrists again at Ceridwen's mark of, I'll kick these guys' ass. It's like, all right, let's do this.
Not without me, you won't. Yeah.
She will.
I told you he's
She
a
knows who
puppy.
they are. And we've already established that at one point.
So, I guess. Oh, hang on. There is a normal morning routine. What normally happens around here?
Yes, there is. And I should. Oh yes, sorry, we're all into this. I should take care of it. I'll do that while you guys strike camp, I suppose.
Yeah, I
Or
can
are we
do
gonna?
the
Or do we have to
Undertaker
roll? Or do we have to restock?
Oh, we might.
Our supply is 5, isn't it?
Yes,
I don't
it is.
know. I haven't looked at my sheet.
Actually, it'll be 4 after last night.
Then I'll go hunting.
Yeah, I don't know. How does everybody look, actually? Because I just looked at my sheet, and yeah, Bill is beat the hell up.
I am surprisingly at 4 health and 4 spirit. I don't know where all that spirit came from.
Okay.
I think it was Amala.
But we did have a successful sojourn, which got us a couple of points back, but...
Some of us.
Yeah. Yeah, and then some of us had bad things that happened during that same night, so yeah. Yeah, I'm at 3 health and 1 spirit, so yeah, Bill is looking thrashed.
Ooh, maybe we should...
I'm at 3 health and 5 spirit, so I'm.
But we're on a schedule, aren't we? We have
Yeah,
half a day.
We're going.
Yeah,
we got horses. We're fine. So. Wait, I forgot about that.
We have half a day. Why do we only have half a day? Oh, yeah, that's right. To catch up with the cutty. Yeah, that's about how far with it.
Our spirit at 4.
All right, so I. Oh gosh, what do I ask today? I want to ask about Weena. But I shouldn't be that selfish. I should ask if there's anything else we need to know about meeting up with the Kadi, or I should ask about these trader guys, or
is this all out loud to yourself?
Yeah, not intentionally.
Okay, so yes then. Okay, perfect.
Everybody just kind of awkwardly.
As you go through that list, Bill will blurt out, "There's nothing wrong with asking about yourself, miss. I know if I had a black mistress of the dark coming after me, I'd be asking after him." That was a lot of afters in that sentence, there was.
Well, so maybe I'll ask that after.
Oh, hoist on me own petard. Hoist on me own petard.
All right.
Oh, just before you start, miss. And I try. It's not going to work because Bill is not magical. But he tries. He holds his hands together like this and concentrates really hard. I got some of my shadow in here, miss. You were nice enough to take my light yesterday. Would you do me the honor? And he's holding his hands up like this.
Sure.
And he it can't work, right? But he's tries to squeeze the shadow into your hand before the light gets in.
Well, thank you, Bill. I'm sure this will be very helpful.
Your light helped out me last night, miss. I just hope I can return the favour.
Actually, that might be very helpful.
I'd like to think that the thought at least gives you +1 on the roll.
Share a bond.
Gives me ideas. That's
even better. Even better. Oh, bugger the mechanics. I like ideas better.
Okay, let's see. Okay, so I go off to the side so I'm out of the way as you're doing that. And I don't know where the crows are this morning, so I'm gonna have to call out to them. Until I settle down and start sending out my spirit to call them to augury. That's plus wits.
First roll of the night. Only took us half an hour.
That's actually better than usual.
Yeah, it is. That's yeah. If you want to see a bunch of dice rolling, watch this week's Deadlands. Oh, I sent them on a dungeon crawl, and they panicked. In the most wonderful possible way.
Ooh.
Ooh. Did you add a +1 to that? For Bill helping?
No, I didn't.
I'll just leave that sentence sitting there then. What's supposed to happen right now? Forget the dice roll.
Tell the story.
You guys aren't all watching me do this ritual, are you?
Oh no,
You're
Ceridwen
doing
is.
your own things.
No, absolutely.
Ceridwen's
We're
eating.
Do you need a minute?
Yep.
If you need a minute, we can jump
I need
in.
just a minute. Yeah, I
Yeah.
need just a minute.
Yeah.
So as you're setting up for this ritual, Gear kind of walks to the end of the clearing with a white fluff right at his heels. And as he gets to the end of the clearing, he just kind of casts a look over his shoulder in Ceridwen's direction. Gives her like a
And she'll go. He was like kind of helping Bill like pick up camp and all that kind of stuff, but she'll follow. What do you need, Gear?
would you like to hunt?
Sure.
It'll clear your mind. Let's go. He kind of steps out into the trees, and that white fluff is just gone into the bushes. So they're walking, kind of checking for game and checking for trails and such. You didn't tell the others. You're highborn.
What?
A noble.
No,
Are you sure?
I'm sure.
So, who is this man that's so interested in you?
A prick.
Hmm?
He's an elder in our steading. He's actually the older brother of one of the traders. He was one of the better hunters in Frostmoth. I studied under him from the first time I could hold a bow.
And if he's such a good hunter, why do they need you?
Because he's old and pompous and bitter.
And
Spiteful. I left when he told me not to. Okay? I broke his nose, he broke my ribs, we moved on.
sounds like a fair fight.
Well, it should be. When I told Amala back in Kinheim that sometimes your teacher doesn't always have your best interests at heart, I was talking about him. Because he's a manipulative bastard.
Does this involve your brother?
More or less. It involves me, but Kadal was the only one that really helped.
If I promise to help you find this man, I'm going to need a little more to go on than that.
What do you want, Kier?
Gear's quiet for a long time. To help.
What do you need to know?
Your brother. What does he smell like?
I'm not certain, Kier.
What does he trade in?
Mostly pelts, furs.
Not a good hunter?
Not. No. He didn't excel at it. That was me.
Very well.
So my other brother, he's really decent.
Is he also looking for your younger brother? Or
I'm the
whoever?
only one.
And these people we're supposed to meet. They might know something of your brother.
That's what Amala said about after her ritual. That something about Kadal and this search for him led her to them.
And these people in the woods, nearby, over there, he kind of points off. Are they going to stand in our way?
No, I don't think so. And if they do, they're not a threat. They're not.
It'd be easier to deal with them now while they're sleeping.
No, Kier. They may be annoying, but they're important, trust me. They'll get onto Grey Barrow, they'll be fine, and then they'll move back home. They have no reason to follow me farther. And if they decide to follow me farther, then they're stupid. I can't imagine he would have told them to follow me that far. It's not that spiteful, or it's not that unwise. There'd be no reason to do that.
Very well. Gear will kind of branch off a little bit. Let's actually get some resupply going here.
Yeah.
So are you hunting individually, as a
Oh, no.
team? Is somebody
This-
aiding?
Yeah, I'm gonna aid Ceridwen again. This is a team effort here.
He
Are you
hasn't
actually
been
gonna-
shot in like 3 days.
Are you actually going to tell her that you're helping?
No, what?
Of course not.
I said I literally just said the word help like 10 minutes ago. That's my monthly quota, okay?
Yeah.
I can't use it
you
again.
know, that's more than she can really ask for. That's true.
So yeah,
So you've got to
I'll
roll the secure in advance.
I will absolutely. I'm gonna roll, and I think I'm pretty good at securing advantage. Let's see here. Yes.
Is Wolfram helping as well?
Oh, absolutely.
I see no reason why you couldn't both secure an advantage.
So this will be mine. Yes. So that's my secure an advantage for you.
Yep.
Now, if we were talking about an omnipotent natural being securing you an advantage,
Is it still hunting in wolf form, other than being all but invisible?
Well, it went off into the woods, so
Yeah.
and it's gonna help
We don't
us.
know.
It knows.
We don't know what form it's in.
No, but I'm just looking at this, and to me, the sentence that sticks to my head is speed, agility, and precision. Sounds like that thing hunting to me.
Oh, absolutely.
So that's edge.
Mm,
But that's its strong suit, so I would suggest whatever you've got with a 3. I would say that's probably the equivalent. I would say a wolf has probably got an edge of 3, wouldn't it? If it hunts.
what do you say? Rather than giving you a roll, it'll just give Ceridwen a +1 on her.
Yeah, you're right. Make it easier. So yeah, so
I'll
you
give
got a
you-
strong hit. So she
Ceridwen,
can make
you
another
can
move and add
fire,
1, or
you
take
can
2 momentum.
So you're getting
Okay.
a +1 from the wolf,
+1
and
from
either
the-
a +1 from gear or 2 momentum.
Okay, I'll take the +1 from gear.
Yeah, so +2 to the roll total,
2.
and that's a resupply. Another strong hit. Yep. +2 supply. You got more than we can use.
I get 1 momentum.
It's okay. I'm sure the wolf can eat the rest.
Or Ceridwen knows what to do with it, begrudgingly.
Or you get some more arrows. We managed to take down a bird too and get some fletchings.
Mm-hmm. And while they're out hunting, Ceridwen will just look over where the other camp is and just go.
Mm-hmm.
And make sure the arrow
just fire one in that general direction.
in the general direction, not gonna hit them, not even close. But
okay, because I was gonna, yeah.
No.
You go,
She's not
girl.
aiming for them. It's more of a don't.
Sort
you
of,
dare.
sort of in
She-
the middle of the road, so when they leave, they have to, so they can see that you were there.
Ceridwen's
Right,
smart.
like-
She breaks it just a little bit so it's all frayed and it whistles when it's fired.
Like
I guess
it's
what I'm
not,
saying, are you counting coup in the traditional sense, which is the I could have killed you but I didn't. Sleep well.
kind of. It's
Okay.
clearly directed at them.
Yep.
It wouldn't have hit any of them.
But
They
you could
know
have.
what she can do. She
Yeah.
was trained by one of the best hunters that they had at the point. Like
Yes.
they know what she can do, and she's basically giving them a warning of stay away, don't mess with me,
Yep.
or this arrow's gonna be somewhere else.
And thanks to chat, you guys came back with a bear.
We killed a bear?
You killed a bear. Yeah. Well, I'm assuming it's because we had too much food, more food than we could possibly use, so it had to be a big critter. So you guys got a bear.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm lugging this thing then. I am lugging this thing back.
He's gonna spend all day sewing.
I have one arm over and I'm just like, "Ugh,
Can even gear haul a grizzly? No.
It doesn't have to be a grizzly. It could be a.
It could be
black
just a
bear.
little one, just a little black bear. There you go.
I have
Not too
help.
little or we'll have
Nobody
the
wants to eat a
mama
black
coming
bear though. Oh.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh.
Ceridwen can help him. She'll watch him struggle for a little bit.
Yeah.
And she'll help.
Anyway, we're heroes. You guys
I
can
have-
haul a
yeah.
bear. It's a
I have help, and there's a little white fluff that's like
Oh,
got
yes.
a mouthful of it. And it's like,
I like to think that you guys are struggling, and the wolf comes along, and grabs, and starts to help, and you're thinking, "Oh, isn't that? Oh, there she goes."
At one point, yeah, it's holding on, and we lift the bear up, and it like comes off the ground. And then
that
back
little
feet
dog
down,
thing
and
with the
it's like,
feet in the air. Yeah. So the three of you bring the bear back to camp, and due to the magic of storytelling, it is skinned and turned into meat almost immediately.
I am gonna tan this pelt and wear it proudly. I might even replace my claws.
Ooh, okay, so while they
Mhm.
were out,
Yes. Now back to
Okay.
this.
it takes a while for the crows to respond.
Yeah.
And when they come from the south. And today is not a gossipy day. Today is a fairly serious day. And they kind of gather around. And they talk in somber tones. But one or the other keeps sort of hopping up in the center and sort of looking and cocking its head and backing up, and then another one will come up and kind of cock their head and back and as they talk, Amala looks graver and graver. until she's even looking a little bit troubled. And another one comes up, and this is about like the fifth one that sort of come up. And it's like, oh, go, like, for heaven's sakes. And she kind of sighs and nods and sort of lets them go. And some of them just sort of flutter around, and some of them are kind of interestedly looking over at where Gear and Ceridwen are coming back and all of their thing. And they're back to being normal crows, just sort of going around. And so as you guys get back into camp, I mean, Amala's looking pretty troubled. Bill gave me a bit of shadow.
You mean it actually worked, miss?
Are you telling us that?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it seems to distract the crows some. They told such an odd... They said the shadows gather over the deep wilds, and they're deepening over the gather wilds. It's all dark. It's all dark. I don't know what that means. I mean, I've heard of the deep wilds, but I don't know what gather wilds are.
Brief pause while everyone makes notes.
Yeah, right.
I get the impression, miss, that these ain't the same kind of friendly shadows I was showing you before.
I don't know. I don't think so. I mean, it didn't sound friendly. It sounded agitated. Well, you saw them. I don't know whether you could have seen agitation in them.
Well, I mean, it's not. It wasn't. It's yeah. It's. I think we would have. Yeah.
And
yeah, he keeps looking at you
only
for a
because
couple
she
of
said it
seconds.
that way. Huh?
They couldn't say anything else at all?
Well, the augury didn't know. I mean, and then they just went back to being crows, and they said you were coming with a bear, and I didn't believe them, but you have a bear. So, but that wasn't part of the augury. That was just crows.
Gear kind of has this 1,000-yard stare. He's like zoned out, just like.
Here?
Do you know what the gather wilds are?
The deep wilds. That's where my people come from.
Is it? What are you doing up in the Tempest Hills? I thought you came from north of Kinheim.
South.
What were you doing in Kinheim?
Looking for the Iron Man. That man of metal.
If your home is all full of shadows, and you've managed to stumble upon her, and I point at the wolf, a force of bloody nature that is, and me, probably the sneakiest shit what's ever walked the planet, seems like I might finally know why I'm here.
Why are you here?
Because he moves real quiet, miss. But you can still see him. Ain't no one sees me, miss. Not if I don't want 'em to. Especially now I got your light.
Gear, do you think your home could be in trouble? We can't hear you.
Yes. The white mane was taken. Everything fell out of balance.
Well, then you got to take her back, don't you? That's obvious as snot on the end of your nose in the winter.
I can't, though. The Iron Man, he's behind something. He needs to be dealt with first, before things can be returned to normal.
There has
Well,
to be some way to help.
we're headed that way anyway. It don't hurt us none to stop in and check.
Yes. Let's see. I looked to Ceridwen. If that's okay. Do we have time?
People are in danger. Of course it's fine.
And the Gather Wilds.
Out of character. Do you know what that is, or should I just make it up?
I know what
Okay.
it is. Although anything you make up could add into it, and I mean, because you and I sometimes get on converging waves.
Group
And now I'm on a
storytelling at its finest.
Mhm. So feel free to contribute, because it can mean more than one thing. It's an augury.
I will just say,
Yes, I know where the Gather Wilds are. They're a place that's sacred to the people of the forest. An old site, ritual site. Sacred ground. I don't know
Okay,
why
you
they're
left that nice and
important, though.
open. I like that.
right?
Yep.
Just added some fluff on it.
Yeah, exactly.
And it fits fine.
I had faith in you.
Ditto.
Well,
So
there's
you-
something clearly going on, and if we can help in any way, then we have to go.
I would think that Ceridwen and Gear, because of their backgrounds, would both know. So, are we getting to the wilds before we get to where Autumn Hills is supposed to be? Or Autumn Falls? Autumn Falls.
Autumn Falls is in the hinterlands.
So that's even further?
No, it's
No,
closer.
No.
the hinterlands is closer. So we would get, at very least, to the Kadi first,
Yes, okay.
and then wherever
I
we
just-
go from there.
I forgot what the map looks like. But
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, and this group of Kadi follow the pastures, so that they're not that far south of us, even though it was last fall, because they don't actually move that fast. They move with the speed of their livestock,
Sure. Yep. Plus they stopped
which I
the trade
didn't
along the
realize
way.
last week when I was thinking about it. So
Yeah. Oh, the amount of effort that we all end up putting into this game just amazes me. It's like, yeah, I spent 3 hours thinking to myself, oh no, they'd have to move as slow as their slowest cow.
Figuring out their economy and their
Yeah.
politics. Yeah.
I love it.
but
It's
it's
wonderful.
so much fun. We're getting
It
so
is.
much out of it.
Oh yeah, that's this. We all get to be dungeon masters, right? We all get to create. So this is anyway. Back to that creation.
Okay, back in character.
Yes.
Well, then, we should head out then once we're all ready.
I got it almost all done in your absence.
Thank you, Val.
All the horses are loaded up. And yeah.
And Gear has already butchered this
Yep.
bear.
By magic.
Yeah, it happens that fast.
the speed
And
of
and tan
plot.
the skin. It's that quick.
Magic bear.
Yeah, I
We're
won't
not
tan
going to
it
spend
yet. I'll
3
just,
days here
yeah,
in the stench. Tan
I'll
it.
just
They stink
hang it
until you
on my
tan 'em.
back
Oh.
and tan it as we ride.
Oh, gross.
Stretching it
gonna
as
be
you
wonderful.
ride.
Riding upwind of you, definitely.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Gear is like way over here, and everybody else is all bunched up.
I might be loud, but at least I don't stink.
And
Uh,
Gear is not bothered at all by the smell.
yeah.
Of course not.
So I will do the undertake a journey move. that
Undertake
we
a
do.
journey.
And Gear's
For
all
today.
happy because now, thanks to chat, he's got a brand new pelt to wear.
Yeah. Oh, you and Bill match now. This is
Bear
bear as well.
belts.
Yep.
Oh yeah, your bear.
Yep.
There
I
it is.
forgot.
So,
Undertake the journey.
plus wits.
Ooh.
Oh dear.
What?
That's a bad option when you can
Ooh.
Yeah.
burn momentum for a weak hit. That's
Yeah. Oh,
I just
God.
love your reaction to it.
Well,
Just
I mean,
undertaking
if
a
you read
journey.
those options, those are both distinct possibilities given what
We
we're
are
in. So,
waylaid. What is it? We are waylaid
waylaid by a
by a
perilous
perilous
event,
event.
or we reach a waypoint and mark progress but suffer a -1 supply. The bear meat goes bad because we didn't cook it well enough.
And we all have
We all
diarrhea.
get sick. We all get
Horrible,
sick because
horrible
of the
diarrhea,
still
bear
tanning
diarrhea.
hide.
Oh, this was a dump
Um,
bear. We should have known better. Oh. And chat, that's why earlier I was saying don't eat bear, is because I was talking about dump bears. You do not want to eat a black bear that lived in a dump. Ugh.
Blech.
Oh God,
What happens, Robin?
1 second. Let me check my momentum. Okay. I'm gonna burn that momentum
Okay.
because that fits in with one of my assets. I'm a wayfinder. That's what I can do that.
Yep.
But we start heading. So we start heading out, and we start going where we're gonna meet up with the Akadi and towards where they're going, and because the people from Frostmouth are heading in a slightly similar direction, we end up moving not next to each other, but in the same kind of
Oh, okay.
void. So they're often behind us because they have carts and they have all this kind of stuff.
Sure. Yeah.
But they are distinctly kind of following it a bit intentionally because they could technically probably take
Sure.
a different route, but they're kind of falling behind kind of an intimidation tactic that they're trying to do, which Ceridwen has made very clear doesn't affect her at all.
Right. And how does that cost us 1 supply?
Fire a couple arrows at him.
No.
That's where my mind went. But
No. It does. The intimidation tactic doesn't work.
Okay.
But Ceridwen knows that she did leave them, and she's a hunter, and so that kind of works on her guilt complex that she's apparently developing. And so she, after kind of running it past Amala and Gear and Bell a little bit briefly, she's not going to just do it on her own because these people also will depend on what they have. Meaning us. But we'll have at some point when they've taken a break, because I'm sure they had to take a break at some point, gone and taken a portion of their foodstuffs and given them to them, telling them to bring it back to Frostmouth with them.
Yeah, I like that. That's exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah, and so that's how we lose the supply, is that the intimidation tactic doesn't work.
Yep.
But she knows that it's hard on the community, and so it's just one of those things where she has to begrudgingly go over and be like,
sure,
take this, don't say anything. You can say
boy,
you found it, I don't care.
Yeah.
You don't have to tell them that I gave it to you. You don't have to tell them anything. You don't, none of that.
And Bill doesn't know this, but you did that to your ex-hunting teacher. It's like, I know you guys are starving because you're not very good. Here's some food. Like that. Oh, I just wanted to make sure it was as cold and nasty as I thought it was.
Indirectly, right?
Indirectly, she said, of course she knows they're gonna tell that, because they're gonna be like, where the hell did you find this? But she doesn't have a caveat on. She's not gonna use their tactics against them.
Right.
You have to tell them that I did this for you. Blah blah blah. No,
and
she doesn't care. And so and I'm imagining it's probably kind of a briefly terse conversation between her and them
Yep.
before she comes back. And yeah, I'm gonna do this. Okay. As she's walking back to no, that's just for my own self. That's me. As she's walking back, kind of grumpily, one of the guys is kind of older, probably close to Bill's age, maybe. I don't know, maybe a little tiny bit older. He yells out loud enough for everyone to hear that I'm trying to think of the exact wording. I had this thought before.
Yeah.
He yells out, "Your husband says he wants you back."
Bill damn
And her
near
hand
falls off his horse.
and her hand goes to her bow like,
yeah.
Yeah,
and
Gear's still finishing arrows. He's like, huh?
and then she will. Sorry, I'm reading chat for a second. And so yeah, she'll go back to Brahm and I'll get back on. If no, like, and she's not gonna say anything. If someone brings it up, she'll talk. But nope, she's not saying anything.
Quick out of character, because chat did bring this up, and I think I agree. Gear, I think you should get a point towards your goal, as the shadows cast in the forest matches what happened with the Revenant's capture of his guardian, and so you would
like
gain
that.
information about what happened.
Oh, I really like that. I'll take
So
that. Thank you.
Thank you, Hallowed Legs. That makes perfect sense. We sometimes get so
See?
sucked into the
Augury
story side of
works.
yeah. Just as sort of an inside peek for those people that don't get to see it, after we go offline, pretty much every week we all go, "Oh, you should probably get a point for that, and maybe you should have, and there should be this, and on and on and on." So, anyway, just so take a point in that, and Bill, when you get up next to him, will look over at you and very pointedly look you up and down again. Pardon me, miss, but pardon me, missus, but you don't look married.
Because I don't want to be.
Oh, we're one of them arranged ones, were it?
More like one of those manipulative and coerced.
Right. If you don't mind me saying so, missus, you got an awful lot of people on your shit list.
Just the one.
Were you sure, miss? It kind of sounds like there's 5 or 6 of them. And that don't even count him. And I point at Gear.
Oh.
Or me,
Still-
for that matter.
It's complicated.
Well,
Sounds
he
like-
ain't here, miss. And if you don't mind, I've gotten rather in the habit of calling you miss.
I would appreciate if you continued. Like I said, I didn't want to be.
I tell you what, miss, this might be a chance for an opportunity for a chance here. The next time I calls you missus, you can assume that whatever situation we're in is right messed up and it's time to go all feral. Like him.
Like a code word then.
Exactly, miss. Like a release the hounds command, what no one can hear as release the hounds.
That's a good idea.
Right, I better control my tongue better than I'm used to. Wouldn't want nobody getting shot just 'cause I made a joke. Miss.
You can also just call me Ceridwen if you'd like.
That's a lot of syllables. but maybe it's safer.
And she'll get back up on her horse.
One more question, miss.
Yes.
You're not going to shoot me, are you?
No.
It's only I kind of been waiting ever since you found out I had your brooch. Pardon me, Ceridwen, but you don't look like the kind of person what is real, forgiving.
Believe me, Bill, if I had wanted to shoot you, you'd be shot.
That does make me feel a tiny bit better, miss. Ceridwen. Right then, off we go. I keep saying this, but one more question. If we meet your husband, how are we going to know it's him? Because pardon me, but I want to be a right rude prick when I see him.
Maybe he'll be shot.
Bill tries not to laugh real hard.
Ceridwen does smile.
Mm.
He's the old as fuck man who has a superiority complex.
Right, miss. Well, you point him out to me if we see him, and I'll make his life a bloody hell, I will.
So,
Amala kind of leans over to Gear. What brooch?
Gear's still kind of looking at Ceridwen when he goes, those people, you still hunt for them then? Kind of sly little joke.
My family does live there still.
Fair enough.
And having 5 siblings, it's a lot.
If they're still here in the morning, I'll make sure to bring them some rabbits.
Oh, please do.
Gear's just... I like to think that every time you guys go and him and look over to Gear's just doing something totally awful.
Yeah.
Just like pulling pieces of meat off the bear pelt or
using
like
his teeth. Yeah, using his nails to scrape the yeah.
And Gear has, since we have so much bear meat, like so much, he has given a huge leg to the wolf.
Oh yeah.
And it's just like, as it's carrying it around so happy, it's like front heavy, so it's only walking on its front legs. Like its back is like hiked up off the ground.
But still walking? Because
Yeah.
And as they start kind of moving again, Ceridwen will look at Amala because she'll see kind of a lot of questions there. So I'm sure there are many.
Yep.
Amala, are you okay?
I'm okay. Are you okay?
I will be.
Yeah. I get that.
Remember when I told you that sometimes teachers can be not so good for you?
Mm-hmm.
Be glad that you got out rather early.
If I am out.
You've made the first steps.
Yeah.
You showed that you're strong and rebellious. It's something I should have done a long time ago.
But it looks like you've done it now.
I
We'll
have.
be strong and rebellious together.
Exactly.
Oh, and look over there. I am seeing a flock of goats. I think we're coming up on the Kadi.
Mm-hmm.
Are they goat herders?
Well, they've got all sorts of livestock. They've got sheep and goats and some cattle and some horses and some dogs. They do sell some livestock as well as some metalwork. Yeah. But we should be coming up on them about now anyway. And if we see a young one out herding them, I don't know of any other circle in this area. It's probably them.
And I am going to show up with a half-cured bear pelt.
Yep.
First
On my head.
impressions.
The arms running down, like every video you've ever seen, that just absolutely smells rank.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It's still moist, sticky.
Ew.
Oh, I'm sure the goats are not.
We don't
happy.
know him.
Yeah.
We don't know him.
He'll be feral in the woods.
I can go hunt some rabbits really quick if you want.
Well, this
No,
lot that
Carrot's
we're
not.
approaching here, what you know this lot particular, or just sort of by reputation?
Well, I don't really know them very well. They came by Kinheim last fall. They were really afraid. Something had attacked them, and I mean, they described it as some sort of shambling mass of bits of flesh and stuff, and the elders at Kinheim thought they were making up stories to get sympathy, and that they were bringing bad luck, and so they kind of drove them out. I managed to get a few things to them, but before they left, so I haven't really met them so much, but I mean, I met them briefly.
Well,
But in the vision, it's clear it's them.
if you were nice to them, I'll bet they remember you. That don't happen a lot in this world.
I hope so. I mean, I only met them the once. The Kinheim's not on their usual migration route.
But we're only stopping to ask questions. We're not asking for any personal hospitality or anything of the sort.
I don't think so. I remember what they said about them.
Was it
I'll
that
remember as we
they
get
had
into it.
information, or they were? It was through them that the path
I
to.
remember.
Yeah.
I remember.
And you're
I
showing.
mean, Amala doesn't know, but
Yeah.
You're showing
yeah,
up
you
as a
know.
full-fledged shaman now, and you have the garb to show for it too.
Yeah, you got the full robe.
yeah,
Mhm.
I don't know if that will be meaningful to them or not. But
Well, I
yeah,
know
I
I've
guess
said it before, but you might want to stay out of town until we explain you just a little bit. He's
Who's he
pointing at
talking
Gear.
to?
Gear. Yeah.
Gears
really?
looking at Ceridwen like, yeah. You hear what he says?
I don't know, Bill. Do you really think that they'll take kindly to him if he's not with us?
Well, I just think it might. Oh, you're right. We don't want to leave him out here. They'll bloody shoot him. They will.
I think he's a threat to their flocks.
Oh yeah. I guess if he's with us and he's on an horse, maybe we won't be so frightening.
And now, at least he looks like a bear riding a horse.
Yes. Yeah.
With you guys, rather than just a bear in the woods.
Yeah. Just a quick aside, we are aware of the fact that our characters look like raging maniacs in this game, which is something that so few D&D parties are ever aware of. Like, they walk into the bar wearing their full armor right after a fight, just covered in gore, drinks all around, and nobody says anything. We're like, I stink.
And we have so much fun
stink.
with it too.
I'm covered in goo.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have
This one has a bear
spot
pelt.
on my armor. I have a bear chest. We have a pair of bears. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, this photograph is just, it doesn't scream heroes. Not yet, anyway. I mean, 3 of you are, but the picture don't scream heroes yet. Anyway, back to here.
Okay, so we come up. It's I mean, there are several flocks around, so it kind of scatters around. And as we sort of come up along kind of the roadway, they're camped out. There's about um, about a dozen wagons, maybe a little more wagons, and they're kind of in sort of circular groups with sort of a central communal area and all. And they're sort of set up like a circle,
Sure.
like a community circle.
Yeah.
But it's
But
a sort of a
physically
traveling one.
in a circle, yeah.
Yeah, one of their wagons is clearly a traveling forge.
Okay.
They've got stuff pretty well set out. They're clearly here to be. They're not on the move at the moment. They're clearly going to be here for a little while.
They're feeding their flock, right? That makes sense. Flocks, multiple, yeah. Okay.
Flocks, yeah.
And Gear looks happy.
Oh,
Hey, thanks,
hi to
Mercs.
Merc's raid.
Mercs, thanks for the raid. Goo arrives. Oh, did Goo live? Please tell me Goo lived. I can't handle if Goo died.
They're going to make us watch the VOD. You know that, Kevin.
I know. I will anyway.
Oh, this guy's so sweet to let you know.
He lived. Thanks, Shadowmancer. That's a spoiler I can handle. So over here we are in this village just to quickly get everybody up to speed. We are in this village to gather information on our way to trying to find Ceridwen's brother, who may or may not still be alive.
Find that out though.
We'll find that out when we find the body. I mean, when we find him.
I mean, there will be a body probably.
It's just either it's breathing or
whether
not.
it's warm or cold.
Yeah.
So Ceridwen will actually look to Amala and it might be best if you approach.
Oh, yeah, probably. And this time I'm coming to them as a supplicant, and they weren't treated well when they came to Kinheim as supplicants.
Oh, I will make a note that the people following Ceridwen did not, like, they're still going on their way. They're not, like, sticking around.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Good. Those fuckers. But yeah,
people are easier to hunt from behind.
Gear has gotten off his horse and he's walking it by the reins. And as we're walking through this just field of different flocks of animals, just reaching out and touching them as he goes by and like giving them playful shoves and things. He seems really happy in this kind of area. All these creatures around.
And the goats aren't freaking out. And...
Surprisingly, they walk right up to him.
The goats are fine. The sheep steer clear.
That's
they gossip with him. They gossip with him like the way the crows gossip to me. So
yeah.
Nanny goats.
Anything that walks up to it, he'll like pet it in a certain spot and then like shove it away. Like a playful little.
Okay,
so who's the first person that approaches us from this village?
Well,
Who wants to roll?
First.
Oh no,
person,
yeah. Just for disclaimer purposes, some of this was rolled previous to the game, but it was all based on Oracle rolls in the game and questions. So, and yes, if you want to know more about this tribe than we currently know, you can go to the wiki, the fandom wiki, and there's a whole write-up in there.
Okay, so oh, I didn't realize I made him the security leader. Okay, well, so a male who looks slightly different. Nothing you can really put your hands on necessarily, but he does look slightly different. Comes up to us, and he's clearly, I mean, he looks like a warrior. He's, buff. He's got he's got weapons on him. Comes up with a very assertive but confident stance. And he has and even though it's assertive, it's not overly aggressive. It's just it's a quiet, reserved, very, very confident without having to project this type. And he comes up to us and gives kind of a challenge. You're coming into our circle. Who are you and what do you want? I don't know if somebody wants to play him.
We have a roller for that too.
That's
Oh,
true.
if
I
you
could
wanna-
do it
roll
if
this?
you want.
If you wanna, go for it.
Kevin or Austin, so
Okay.
go ahead.
I,
Yep.
I'm gonna follow you on this scene though, Karis. So this proud man
So
stands up.
here's what we know about him. Where do I put it?
By Kevin or Austin. He wants to defend a place. Born of the
That
deep
works.
wilds,
Yep.
quiet.
Yes, he does.
This everything except for the name. Everything except for the name works. Wow.
So yeah,
Uh,
he walks right up and kind of stands about 15 feet away, and you see his eyes tracing over everybody, clearly tracing Bill's shovel, Ceridwen's bow, and not being able to find really much on Amala or gear, but clearly searching for
Gear
weapons.
has his little bear claws on
Yeah.
still.
And he definitely side eyes the man that looks like a bear,
Yeah.
but he's nice and tall. He goes, "Okay, stop. Who are you?"
I am I'm Amala from Kinheim. I met you briefly last fall when you came to ask for help.
I remember. And what can we do for you, Amala from Kinheim?
Well, we are here to ask a few questions. And I know Kinheim didn't treat you very well, but these folks are not from Kinheim, and I did manage to smuggle out some of the talismans and weapons to you.
Kind of looks over his shoulder, looks back. Ask your questions.
And I look at Ceridwen. I look at Ceridwen.
Yes. We're looking for a place called Autumn Falls. Or we're not sure it's a place.
I've heard of this place.
Do you my brother was attacked, and we have reason to believe that Autumn Falls has some form of information or clue as to how to find him. Can you?
And a woman kind of comes up behind him. Your brother, does he look like you?
Yes, he's a traitor.
When was the attack?
Some time ago now. About a month, a couple weeks. I'm losing track of time, in all honesty, but
And
she puts an arm on the man's. We'd better bring them in.
are you sure? He says, are you sure? They said they're heading to the southwest, to the Autumn Falls. We don't want to keep them any longer than they need to be. And he's kind of looking for a
But
reason to get you guys out of here.
please, if you know.
But it was her brother that was
anything.
attacked.
You saw how they treated our people. This one,
She didn't.
I know. It's the only reason they're still standing in front of me. Very well.
We better tell her the story of the attack.
You saw it.
Yes. Come.
And the woman who's there is also get geared up like a warrior.
And this man is clearly walking behind all of you, like keeping eyes on all the weapons. Seems he's very, very overly cautious.
And so they bring the group up around the central fire. Gesture to sit down.
It's sure a
And-
nice place you got here. What with it being mobile and all.
Yes, it
Carrot-
suits us.
Fine. Ceridwen, seeing the man kind of clocking them a little bit, will make a point of when they sit down to put her weapons to the side, kind of out of like immediate reach, to kind of show like, I don't mean you any harm. Like, this information is very important to me.
And his eyes go from you when the bow is out of your reach to Bill and just settle there. You would notice this. Maybe not everybody would, but he's clocked Bill as a shady guy.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And he's just
yeah. And Bill's used to being seen that
I mean, he has a
way, and as
shady
soon as he
shit,
realizes
so-
he's being checked out, it's the hands on the knees schoolboy pose. Like, I'm not doing nothing. I'm a good boy right now.
his lips don't even move when he talks. He's just standing right here.
Right now.
Yeah, Bill's not
I
having
am
much.
fine.
I mean, he tried the conversation and got rebuffed, so he's going to be pretty quiet from now on. But yeah,
So-
he's on his best behavior for sure.
Kevin.
Although, to be honest, Kevin was seriously considering Bill trying to sneak off and steal something.
But Kevin, have you put together the backstory coordination you and I
For-
did before session 0?
These are them?
With the
Oh, shit. Okay.
Last week I was saying we're gonna twist the knife here.
Okay. Yeah. No wonder he's being quiet and sitting there on his best boy behavior then. Yes. Yeah,
Oh, she
he's on
stole
his
from them
best boy
too.
behavior, and there's a little bit of sweat running down the side of his face. Thank you for
Well,
for pointing Kevin in the right direction. I missed that completely. So
yes. Well, I wondered if you'd put it together when you had Bill last week going through the trinkets and realizing one of them had been made by Amala.
yep. Oh, I knew that part, but I didn't realize that these were the people that you gave. Yeah, these are the people I took that from. Okay.
When she says she gave talismans and
Yep.
weapons,
Yep.
that was these people.
Okay. Yeah, I should have seen that. That should have been really obvious, but I missed it. Thank you.
Interesting.
Oh, wonderful. I love it. Perfect twist. Ooh. Yeah. Stolen horses behind us. Stolen stuff in my bag. Sitting in front of the people I stole it from. And also in front of the person that made it for them and made it magic for them. Yeah, Bill is being really still and really quiet right now.
On his best behavior.
Oh, ooh, yeah. Sweating
And
down both
Gear-
sides now.
Gear is kind of off to the side. He's sitting down, but he's doing his Disney princess thing where all the goats are like coming up to him.
and Ceridwen is aware of Alfer.
Yep.
And but she is giving her rapt attention to the woman.
Do any of our characters know anything at all about the Firstborn?
I would
What
suggest
had
Bill
we
doesn't
Just
even believe in them.
rumors.
Yeah, Bill wouldn't
Yeah.
even believe
Would
in them at this
know-
point. I mean, up
you would
until
know
3 weeks ago,
legends,
Bill
that's
didn't
it.
believe in dryads either. So, and glowing rivers and bone walkers.
yeah.
And
Ceridwen would know rumors, just like she knew rumors of rituals and shamans and stuff like that, but nothing concrete.
I think we would all know probably some rumors. That's about it.
Okay, so we wouldn't put together what is different, slightly different about Alfred. He's not a full blood, but
Ooh.
okay, yeah,
That's-
no, I don't think
that's-
we would.
So if there's a reason
I don't
he's
know
so
that- and I-
reserved and
Well,
skeptical
if we,
of
if
everyone.
yeah, if
And there's
somebody
a
were to do a
reason why
gather
his name's
information, that would make sense.
Alfer.
But
yeah, and there's a reason why he's
Alpha,
named
yeah,
Alfred.
it's right
because
there,
the base
yep.
is from Alfred.
Yep.
Yeah, but I don't
that's
think any
okay.
of our,
I talked to
none of our
Reginald.
characters would have put
No,
that
I
together.
get
No.
that. I talked to Reginald Q for 3 hours before I realized it was Copper Dragon. So yeah, I get you. That's for you, Puck. Thank you.
And so this man, Alpha, is kind of sitting there, arms crossed, but kind of chin still high, keeping his gaze up and just scanning everybody and making sure that this woman that's telling the story doesn't give away too much dangerous information. He's more acting as like an intermediary.
And before we get to that story, I just looked at the clock. We're exactly the hour and a half in, so this seems like a very good place to take the 15-minute break. Those of you that have just popped over from the Arts of Mischief, give us 15 minutes, man. We'll be right back.
And then
everybody
things are going to
else
start getting weird.
Yeah, there's always
Real
an
weirder.
Yeah, we've only had 2 complications so far tonight, so that's not so bad.
We gotta
That's
catch
pretty
up.
tame for us,
We're
to be
way
honest.
Pretty
behind
tame.
schedule.
Oh, speaking of which, Ceridwen, did you take 1 on your failure track for your miss?
Ah, thank you for reminding me. Yeah.
This is the kind of this is what I was talking about earlier. We get so sucked into the story we forget about the mechanics and have to do it all afterwards. Anyway, we're gonna take a little break. We're gonna get a little drink. I know somebody needs some honey in their tea because their throat's killing them.
Somebody's voice is giving out.
Yeah. And mine always sounds like it is. So we will be back in 15 minutes and we will see exactly what information we gather, and then we will continue to head down the road to Ceridwen's maybe not dead brother. We'll find out after the break.
Maybe not dead.
See you shortly. And we are back. Oh, right. Excellent. I don't think we need to do a summary. We know where we are. We're sitting in this little village. Bill is pooping himself in terror. Gear is playing with the goats. And the 2 responsible people in the party are gathering information on our mission. So,
Gear is playing headbutt with a ram.
yeah.
Still wearing the bear head?
And
Oh.
winning, yeah.
And winning. You just every once in a while the conversation is punctuated by just
Bang!
Grr.
Here. Huh, good one.
Anyways, in more serious land.
Yes. Well, Gear's over there doing that. You can play the headman Elfer. Yes.
He's sitting there, still cross-armed, kind of leaned back, but clearly almost every muscle in his body is poised. He's very on edge.
Yeah. And she's talking to the woman. You saw the attack.
Yes, I did. I was we've been putting out sort of defensive scouting parties, and because we've been having some trouble with these I don't know, creatures of some sort, and we heard the sounds of one of them, and we came up, and it was attacking a young man who looks very similar to you, and there was a boy with him and their cart and the horse, and we observed this just as the thing sort of ripped in, and it made away with the one that I gather is your brother.
Yes.
It left the young un somewhat wounded. I tried to get to him in order to help, but he had scampered off and I was not able to get to him. We tried to track them for a ways.
He came back home. He's well.
I'm glad for that, at least. I don't know why it made off, though it does give me hope that the thing had attacked our camp back in the fall, and we knew that several people had died. We had some bodies, but 2 of our people we didn't actually have bodies for. We still assumed they were dead. But they were made off with, I assume now, having seen them leave. I wanted to track them, however, it went further away from our caravan, and we had a duty to the caravan, and we didn't want to be drawn off. So I'm afraid we didn't follow any further than that.
Man speaks up. We sent a few of our scouts to see what this man you speak of, what he left behind. Do you know what your brother was trading in?
Furs, pelts, a few meats and things. But he was on his way back. They probably didn't have much on them.
Our scouts risked their lives to go see what was in that cart. The fools. Your brother had something he shouldn't have.
What?
Mm-hmm.
And this time the woman is looking hesitantly at the man, like, are you sure you should be saying this?
That doesn't make any sense. If anything, he'd be bringing back supplies, food, cloth, wool, something like that.
Whether he knew it or not, it was no accident he was attacked.
And she'll kind of slowly reach into like her pocket or something and pull out the.
Yeah, you can see he leans
Yeah.
forward.
She's very slow, and she's kind of like, and pulls out the little token that Bill had previously had. This was one of the few things of note I found in the wreckage of the cart. Does it look familiar to you? And she'll kind of hand it out. It's just made of bone.
Are you handing it to the man or to the woman?
She'll just kind of hold it out to whoever is receptive to it. She doesn't want to make any sudden movements or assumptions.
Karis, what are the chances that we know what this thing is?
Well, if she found it in the wreckage, our scouts would have left it and considered it not significant.
But
because that's not what he had.
Scouts.
Yeah, but that's I think they would have confiscated the thing. Well, would they have confiscated the thing that they know?
No, he's too. If he saw that it drew attention to that cart,
Yeah, no, he wouldn't
absolutely
because
not have. He would not put his caravan at risk. So he'll hold his hand out.
It's it.
And she'll give it to him.
And he holds it and he kind of rolls it over. And you said it's just a piece of bone that has carvings on it, right?
Yeah, it's got some carvings in it, but it's like, it's round. It's kind of rather small.
He kind of flips it over. It looks like bone. And it's worn down. You can see it's been handled. This is for casting, for rituals. Where did you get this?
I found it in the cart wreckage.
And Amala starts sitting forward. It's like, ooh.
Rituals. Why would that have been there?
I don't like this. Take this. And he kind of hands it back.
And she'll take it.
And he kind of mentions in passing, I don't know why the three of them were there or what happened.
3?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
We found the remains of 3 packs. At least that's what the scouts told us. It makes sense they wouldn't have picked this up. They don't want to draw whatever attacked that caravan back to us.
No. There were Kadal and Bryn were alone. They didn't have a third.
So they were transporting somebody else.
It did look like that. I don't know about transporting them. I mean, they looked roughly equivalent in gear.
And Ceridwen is just kind of miles away, but still there. She's like, trying to
Yeah.
figure out like what the
Oh,
fuck
yeah.
was her brother doing?
Mhm. Who's this third person? Why don't I
And
know? Yeah.
Austin's there with the can of complication, just like.
Oh, I love it. It's great. But
And I'll reach up and tap it to get a little
Yeah,
more
get
out
the rest of it out. Yeah, let's just have it all out.
uh,
Just have all the complications.
this
That's spice.
this may have been. Did you see him, my brother, get taken? Did you see if he was alive?
All the stories that we've heard are from our scouts. They heard the
I
commotion.
saw him. No, I saw him because I know he looks like her.
Well, that makes sense. You're always out there with the scouts hunting anyways. Did you see him? Was he alive?
He could have been. It wasn't clear. He could have been.
We did find blood at the scene. But nothing deadly.
I might have seen a glimpse of the third person. I'm not sure. I saw a glimpse of movement, but
I have no idea. Bryn didn't say anything about a third person. He was pretty shaken, though.
Who knows? Maybe he got married on that trip.
of course that's a complete non sequitur.
Just anywhere but Ceridwen. Just
Bill is sweating.
He wouldn't have gotten married on that trip. He's already married.
Right.
Back to dead silent.
Oh yeah. He just couldn't help himself, and he had to blurt that out. Although honestly, that says more about Kevin than it does about Bill.
And after a few moments of just trying to like parse things out, because this is a lot of information, she'll look to the woman and the man, but she knows he's super edgy and on edge.
I mean, yes, but no.
Thank you for sharing this information.
Although there's only the 4 of you. You're going after him? You're going after this creature?
And the man kind of starting to turn his head towards her.
Well, when I started, it was just me. These other 3, my companions, have agreed to come with.
Oh. Well, if you saw that wreckage site, I mean, this is not a small thing. What do you think you're going to do?
What I can.
Well, it sounds like you could go and get ripped up is what you could do.
It's not always about fighting, ma'am.
He is someone very important to me. He's my twin, and I left to find him because the idea that he could be out there alive, needing help, and no one did anything or could do anything would have destroyed me.
I don't know though. That creature, we're doing what we can to stay away and not draw it to our circle because we've got vulnerable people here. We lost warriors to that.
Hmm.
We lost one of the women to that. To go seeking it out seems foolishness.
My dear old dad said you don't punch strong people, you think your way around them. It's just what he said.
Well, I wish you all luck with that.
But please, that token that you have, get rid of it. It's no good.
Get it out of our circle anyway.
Yes, I'm sorry, I didn't know it was anything of that power. What is this Autumn Falls? Is it a circle? Or
It's a place. I don't know if there are any big circles nearby. It's a landmark. You'll know it when you see it.
We don't go by there. It's outside of our usual territory, but some of the other clans do.
yes. Oh.
Right, so we're off then.
Yeah.
Up and
Yeah,
heading for the horses.
Yeah, when Bill stands up, so does Alfin. He stands up.
Yes, we've taken up enough of your time. Thank you. And she'll pick up her bow slowly because she's aware, and
Bill comes back with everybody's horses.
And as Amala gets up, a woman comes up and sort of touches her arm, and Amala sort of leans down and she sort of whispers something and hands her something. And she looks at her sort of questioningly. The woman nods and sort of pushes it.
And Alfin doesn't notice because he's watching Bill just like ass and elbows.
Well, Bill wouldn't have seen that. He's off getting the horses. So.
And so it's sort of a whispered conversation, and then Amala sort of rejoins with sort of a curious look and a small clay pot.
and
I knew where I was going to get
it. And I am going to do something quickly. Here's the thing.
There's like an uneasy quiet that's punctuated by.
You look over and the goat is laying on the ground, one leg twitching, gears.
Ooh, good girl.
Nice.
Yes. Yep.
Do you have any stress left?
I do. I'm at 4 again. I'm already at 4.
So you shake it off. You suffer 1 momentum in exchange for 1 spirit, or embrace the darkness and take 1 momentum.
Is this redoubling your efforts?
She's going to embrace the darkness.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good girl.
I like it.
So yeah, she's
So what do you take from that conversation?
Or are you ready to tell us or need to process some more?
Yeah, I'm not going to say yet.
Okay,
Not
because
gonna say it.
I don't know if you know, I used my out of character voice. That's,
Yeah.
I was just interested, and now I've gone out of focus, out of character.
And she'll
There we go.
kind of look at the talisman thingy, or not the talisman, the ritual
Mhm.
token, and she's not really sure what to do. She's like, Amoa, they said this was dangerous and that we should get rid of it.
Yeah, I heard that. Do you want me to take it?
I'm
Are you-
not sure. Huh?
Are you close enough for all of us to hear this? Or at least
Yeah,
all of
she's
us
not
with
saying
gear?
this.
Yeah. He's not
Gear might
headbutting
not be paying
goats.
attention, but she's
Yeah.
not like making it quiet. She's
Yeah.
just saying, like, she just is consulting them all, like she actually knows stuff about this thing. If it's dangerous, I don't know if we should be traveling with it, but I don't know then what to do with it.
Well, it weren't no danger to me. Oh, I carried it for several weeks and nothing out of the ordinary happened.
You did what?
I am a thief. And remember that night that Ceridwen told us all about the bastard what stole her stuff in the middle of the night while she were sick and thinking she were dying?
Yeah.
Well, that bastard were me.
You?
It were. I didn't know who she was. She were just a pile of rags in the corner, and I took everything she owned.
Well, that wasn't very nice.
No, it weren't, miss. I'm not a very nice person, I'm not. And then she caught me with it the other night, and she is a nice person, 'cause I'm still standing here breathing. But I'll carry it for you, miss, even if it is bad luck. Feels like it might be a way for me to make up for it, so to speak.
Bill, I don't want you to put yourself in unnecessary danger.
There's no better place to put it, miss. If you want something not to be seen, you give it to a thief.
And she'll kind of look to Amala to see if she has any thoughts on this. Okay, that seems
And here's
like
where
he
it
was-
gets
If
here's where
he
it gets
was
messed up.
carrying it, we've
Yeah.
we've seen lots of. I mean, we saw those bone walker things. We've seen, we've seen some nasty stuff, and none of it seemed drawn to him while he had it.
true.
So Bill takes the bag off of his belt and opens it up for you to put the token in.
And she'll put it in.
How widely does he open it?
This
up?
is exactly what I'm looking for. Exactly what needs to be rolled
Is it
right
face
now.
danger?
I think that is perfectly reasonable. I think I should have to roll face danger. I think that's absolutely. And
to find out if Amala notices what else is in there.
yes, and I'm not.
Of course,
This
Amala
doesn't-
might be oblivious enough; she might not notice the significance of it.
In the background, the bonks stop.
Let's move.
Concern.
Oops. Hang on, I gotta open up Bill here. I had the wrong page open. So
I want to sit here and what's my passive perception?
yeah, exactly right.
Uh,
I am going to use my lowest stat because he's not trying to hide anything, right? I mean, so yeah, that would be edge. That makes sense. So secure. Oh no, face danger, edge.
Wow.
Okay, so You succeed, but face a troublesome cost. Well, that's easy. I'm
That
going
says
to.
Amala does notice.
Okay, so here's the question. I'll let you decide part of this. Yeah, the result is you look into this bag and see your own handiwork. There are 2 protective talismans in this bag that you made. And hitting him is an option because endure harm is one of the things that can happen on a weekend.
Is this still happening around the Cotty that are still standing right there?
I'm
think
sure
we're a
I think
little
we
We were
were
walking
stepped
away.
out,
I
yeah.
had the horses
Okay.
and we were walking away. Yeah, she
Yeah,
wouldn't have
we're
done that
a
in front of
little
everybody. But
further.
Sheridan would
yeah,
have called
move.
behind gear.
yeah.
Like,
Not,
So I either
not
face a new danger,
making it more
which means I
complicated.
pissed off Amala and I suffer 1
turn the dial
momentum,
down.
or I'm tired or hurt, she hits me, I do 1 harm, or I'm dispirited or afraid, endure stress, or I sacrifice resources and for supply. But that one I don't like because that penalizes everybody. So, how does Amala
Well.
respond? Yes, Shaman?
Are those? And she looks up at again at Bill, and the expression in her eyes is adjectives. I need an adjective. It's like a very piercing gaze that's almost like it sees right through and in.
Mm-hmm. He visibly starts to shake. That's his worst nightmare.
And can Amala really go there? Yeah, Amala can really go there.
Go there.
And then it after a while of that is, you know, you can almost see, there's clicking in their way. And she does get kind of a disappointed look on her face, and then she looks back down at the bag. She sort of steps back a bit and sighs.
I'm just trying to think. There's no way he would put together. There's no way he would assume he's got 2. Out of all the people in the world, he's got shit that belongs to 2 of these people. So that's not why she's mad or upset with me. Is it just because I got all that stuff? He doesn't understand.
He knows he did something wrong, but he
Yeah,
doesn't know
it just
what yet.
exactly. It doesn't know what. Close the
But no,
bag.
remember, he did realize that those had been made by Amala. Because you said that he realized that during his night watch.
Okay, well, yeah, okay, that changed. Yes, you're right. Thank you. I did just right at the start of this episode tonight. I did that. So
No,
that changed.
that was last week.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah, it was
Right,
last
I just
week.
mentioned it this time.
Because I remember making gestures of twisting knives.
Yes.
Which you would see on the video, but you didn't. I don't think you saw at the time because you weren't looking towards the.
Oh, well, okay. Well, that does change things because now I know what. Okay, sorry, retcon all of that scene. He looks down and sees those, looks over and sees her, and just drops the bag, and it just hits the ground, and all these little things come out. There's dozens of just little knickknacks.
And she kneels down to start picking up the things, and hands it back up for Ceridwen to put the amulet in.
And she will.
And hands it back to him. with
And his
quite a piercing look, but
just
she does hand it back to him.
he takes him several tries to grab it. He's so terrified.
Does he now have two women who haven't really punished him for something that clearly made them upset?
Two of these three people now, as far as in his mind, two of these three people would have every right in the world to kill him for what he's done. Yeah.
And the other might just do it because
It's
it's
just
fun.
because he's feral. Yeah. Yeah. And he opens his mouth and closes it. And opens it and closes it. I got some making up to do, me.
Well, start by keeping custody of that amulet. Shall we go?
Yes, 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 yes. Gear?
And he's got a couple.
And of course, it would have been intense enough that the other two would have noticed it, but neither of the other two would have any idea what that was about.
No. And just so you know, I have
Ceridwen
real
probably-
goosebumps on my back for most of that conversation. That was freaky.
Ceridwen probably got an idea because like it happened when she was looking in the bag, and I'm like,
That's true. Amala's
Ceridwen
thinking
would
similarly
maybe have an idea
that
but,
there's
like,
something in
would
the
not
bag.
say
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
she's not going.
But both
to...
of you would have now seen that
Wouldn't
there's
know
at
the
least
details, but
yeah, there's at least 20 things in that bag.
And as they're walking to the horses, Ceridwen will just kind of look at Bill. You weren't traveling with Kadal, right?
Me? No, miss, I were not. To be completely honest, because it seems like I might as well at this point. If I were travelling with him and something attacked him, I'd have been gone in such a flash you'd have never known I was there.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I just...
We're not all brave, miss. I'm sorry.
You're brave, Bill.
Only when I have to be, only when I'm forced to be. And I don't like it.
Nobody really likes having to be brave.
Have you seen the look on your face, miss, just before you release an arrow? Well, I guess not. It's not likely you'd be looking in the reflection at that point, would you? There is, miss, if I may say, a wild joy upon your brow when you let loose. You may not have seen it on you, but I'll bet you've seen it on him. I point over at Gear.
Is it the same kind of joy that you get when you steal something? Or are able to be sneaky?
Oh, I think it's the same kind of joy anybody feels when they do something they're real good at, miss.
Exactly.
Oh, you did turn that around on me, didn't you?
Bill, you chose to travel with us on this journey, even after everything you saw in Kinheim. That's pretty brave.
I don't know, miss. I just thought it would be safer to be with you lot than not be.
You know, starting to question that sometimes.
But I question Mrs. Me. I'm getting older and slower every day. One of these days, some son of a bitch is going to catch me doing what I do. Some young bastard with faster legs than me. He's going to run me down. And what'll feet do after I'm gone? I need to find a new way, miss. And I'm hoping you lot can help me.
There are two types of duties, jobs that people get. There's the ones that they choose because they enjoy it or they're good at it. And there are ones that they don't choose because they're forced to do it or because it's out of necessity. And usually people have a mix of both, and usually people have ones that they like about themselves and others they don't. You see yourself as just your one job as a thief, but I think you have others that you just haven't noticed yet.
He reaches up and pulls out his shovel. Starts playing with it. Looks over at you again. Looks over at Amala. Wraps his hand around it so his fingers are on the nails. I hereby vow, in the presence of all who can see, that I will learn a way to use my skills for the betterment of others instead of the detriment. You know, miss, I don't feel half as much like you're going to kill me now.
Do you know why, Bill?
Not for the life of me, miss.
Because you're making it up. You're getting better. You're doing something better. It may be slow. It may be hard to see, but you are trying to be different.
Old dogs and new
Does-
tricks, miss. It might take me a while.
That's fine. As long as you're
Starts
trying.
putting the shovel back. Looks over at Amala to see what her response is.
And because we see you.
And there's a shudder. Because you saw inside Bill, and that's not... Nobody's supposed to do that.
Ceridwen will kind of pat his shoulder and then go towards Brom.
We're gone.
And as Gear walks up, he looks at me and says, you know what? I'll never understand women. Not once in my life, ever.
Gear was kind of on the edge of this conversation within earshot. And when you pulled out the shovel and put your hands on it, he drops his goat. Like,
Drops his goat. There is a sentence.
he's got, a goat under one arm, and then he's holding a sheep by its legs, and it's like happily just bleeding away.
Bill got your goat.
I'm so
No,
dumb.
no, pay the price.
Whew, I would put that one on the page after we're done, but Bill just took his first... That is his...
Second.
Nope.
That's his second vow that he took on purpose, that wasn't by accident, and he forsake the first one, so... By accident. He forsook it by accident, so...
100% failure rate. Good
Yeah.
track record.
Absolutely. Too bad we weren't tracking that one. We were doing that, so...
I'll never understand women.
Yeah, Gear's in total agreement with that statement. Like goats and sheep.
That's why, yeah. Next time I'm coming with you in the field and I'll headbutt some sheep. I understand sheep. Oh, that was fun. Okay, so we make our way out of this temporary circle, past some concussed goats.
They're all fine. I used to do this.
And Ceridwen will look to the others. I know of a circle south in the hinterlands.
So far.
Well, we can ask them, and she'll kind of point up ahead where the wagon went.
Yeah.
It's one of the trade circles. I've never been, but that's where they're headed. And at least it's someplace that we can maybe stay if we wish.
And
We'll
you notice
probably
Bill
need a
keeps
place.
looking over his shoulder back at the circle we just left as we leave. Nothing. That's it. Don't have to do anything with it. That's just what's happening.
Yeah, Ceridwen's just kind of quiet. She learned a lot of information. She's mulling over. She's confused by a lot of that.
Seriously, though.
Yeah. She's like, who the fuck was he traveling with? Why did he have something like that?
Yeah, so we know what you're doing for the rest of the day. You're wobbling through that morass of information and lack of.
Mhm.
So, because we already made the Undertaker journey roll and we already encountered the thing, and then we made up a thing to add to the thing, because that's what we do, would it be fair to say the rest of the day just passes with us traveling?
Yeah.
And
Unless
then-
On
Austin,
our
who
horses?
Austin looks like he has something to say.
Not yet.
I
I guarantee I
So-
will, though, soon.
And so it's sort of the end of the afternoon. It's time to stop and set up camp. So
All right. Who's making camp?
I mean, I have previously. I don't have to.
yeah, this is
Are
still
you-
your
well, so
adventure.
Well, but the question is, are you preoccupied enough that others of us should need to do that, or are you going to continue doing it just out of habit?
Out of habit, she'd be fine doing it. You do
Oh.
notice
Mhm.
where we stop, kind of, around a secured area to make camp. There is a wagon.
Oh, yeah.
Not nearby, somewhere nearby.
Is it like we can see it?
Yeah, probably. Probably.
Yes.
It's not like right. It's not right next to us. We're not like neighbors, but it's like you can look
It's a
across
pretty
the field.
decent way away, right?
Yeah.
Maybe within throwing distance.
Maybe depends on what you're
And it's
throwing.
them. Ooh.
It's-
And so they were thinking to intimidate
Gear.
them, and we can intimidate them following them.
Gear pulls a big haunch of meat out of his wherever he keeps his
Wherever he
meat.
keeps his meat, yeah.
Out
He
of his
doesn't
meat
have
locker.
pockets. He doesn't have pockets. We've established this.
Yeah.
And he looks to Ceridwen and kind of nods towards her bow.
Okay, what happens on a weak hit for making camp?
A weak hit is we only choose.
get
we
one.
each choose one of the things.
So momentum, spirit, or health, or
want to go
add
hunting
one for
gear.
undertaking a journey tomorrow. What do I need? Oh, I need health. I need to rest up.
Meh. I'll take my spirit. What I really need is about a week.
And so Gear is kind of has this real mischievous look on his face, and he's looking at Ceridwen and kind of nodding his head towards her bow as he's holding up this big frisbee shaped piece of meat. And he's making like he's gonna throw it at their wagon.
And she'll reach down and grab her bow.
And he gives her the eyes, cocks back, and throws it in a big arc.
Yep.
And as it comes down
do it,
towards the
do it.
wagon,
She'll fire.
That would be a
And-
strike, would it not? Yeah.
That would be a strike. Let's see if I kill anybody.
you guys are ruining the story with your mechanics.
I know.
Oh,
Well, the
but it
reason
could
I
be
said it is
even
because
better, 'cause-
the only way this doesn't work is if she misses, and then
Should kill
Yeah.
somebody.
Then I kill someone.
Then we have
Yeah.
other problems.
yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
prepared. I'm
that's-
prepared to take
that's
that
fine.
risk. Ah!
So this person comes around the corner and they get hit in the face with a piece of meat and then shot.
and then stapled to it.
Yeah, I'm actually thinking it's probably less kill and more like
Maim?
injure.
Yeah, kind of bounces
know.
off of them and does a bit of damage, but yeah. Well, you tell me. You guys tell me what happened.
They go
Yeah,
in the corner and they get hit with this giant stake.
and the arrow kind of lands lower, kind of on the like the torso area, like in the shoulder maybe.
And then he looks over and Gear and Ceridwen are just like,
Did you
Oh,
want to
I'm
do?
gonna cry.
You're supposed to do a pay the price. Would you like to do that and see
I'll
if
do a
that
pay the
helps us tell the
price.
story?
I will do a pay the price. I mean,
oh,
I imagine she's just gonna have to have a conversation with this dude too. But...
I'm gonna
Wasted
start.
resources. Well, yeah, it
I
did.
mean, it did.
That's absolutely fair. I guess
It
you're getting away
did.
with this one.
I'll be back. And she goes towards. She goes over towards the cart to deal
Gear
with
is
them.
kind of that fire starter who's like, should I go with or?
Looks around to see if anyone else saw.
So you
And
are. I mean, in one sense, I guess you're. This is. I'm on the wrong page here. Hang on. In one sense, I guess you're. Blah blah blah. What move am I looking for here? Yeah, you're wasting resources in that you've already wasted a piece of meat and an arrow. Anything more than that, or we're just going to take -1 supply and call that?
-1 supply works. And also kind of a minus supply of her pride.
Yeah. So what do you do when you go over there? There's this arrow stuck to this piece of meat, roughly bounced off this person.
And I'm imagining he's like grabbing his shoulder, glaring at Karen, when the other guys are like freaking out, and it's just like, Walter, that went poorly. And like she's having a hard time coming up with words.
Yep.
Because I decided in my head that if she hit anybody, it was going to be the elder's brother, which she said was there.
Yep.
So.
Yep.
Yeah.
This is like your husband's brother standing there with the piece of meat slapped over his shoulder and an arrow resting on his arm. So what? You bribe him with some more meat and walk away?
You better eat that meat. That meat's good.
She's kind of preparing herself to get like screeched at or something. Like she's like not sure.
Yeah, and he doesn't. Just stares at you.
Yeah. Yeah. Waste of resources. Childish. Stupid. Yeah, I know. Like, as if those
Just
things
raises
have
an
been said,
eyebrow.
then irresponsible, strong-headed, too opinionated for her own good. Like clearly these are things.
Grumbling to herself.
Done this talk a few times.
With a certain someone.
Yeah.
And yeah, so she's like, and she knows he's gonna tell him, like, and so like, yeah, she went over, she did a thing, and then she walked away because she doesn't know how to interact with these people.
Absolutely. Well, that takes us to evening. Cue the shaman.
Yeah.
When Ceridwen gets back here, goes, is he gonna eat that meat? It's good meat. I'm being serious.
Probably, yes.
And there's three crows over in the tree, kind of laughing at you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh yes, I'm sure they find Gear's attitude
No, they're
comical.
laughing at her.
Oh, I'm laughing at Ceridwen too. Okay,
That's
yeah.
what I
The
got.
throw was
Yeah,
fine.
they're
The
laughing
throw
at
was
Karen.
The
fine.
throw
The
was
throw was
fine.
fine.
Yeah.
I'm the one
No,
that
I just thought
missed.
they laughed at you because of because you're so arrogant
because
and
of
full
her-
of yourself.
uh, Yeah, no, they're laughing.
I
at
think they're more
her
making fun of the
predicament.
social interaction than the myth.
Yeah.
Her
Um,
predicament,
Yeah.
yes.
I'm sure they will make use of it.
Good.
Though if you want to go fight them for it, you're more than welcome. And she'll
Oh,
walk
no.
away.
I have more I can throw though, if you need.
Enough for
I
tonight.
pull out another frisbee-sized piece of wood.
And she'll kind of walk off feeling like she wounded
You-
pride.
And you feel it
Like,
being
she's
tugged
like,
in your hand, Gear, and you look down, and Wolfear is just trying to pull it out of your hand.
I just lift it up, and there's a
Fetch
wolf on the end of it.
and
And Ceridwen's doing the walk of shame.
And Amala's just sitting and laughing, lighthearted like a young girl, just
Yep.
happy.
And if anybody looks, Bill's just trying to be invisible. He doesn't understand he just doesn't get it. He doesn't get today at all. He wants to go away and think. But that's where we are.
Bill,
Amala.
Bill, come over. She gestures to the other side of the fire. Come on.
Right, miss. It's time, innit?
Yeah, it's time. I mean, we'll use the sunset too, but I think while you and I are practicing together, using the fire helps.
Right, miss. Together, miss.
Well, yeah, like we did last night.
Oh, I was just helping. I wasn't doing, I was just helping.
Well, of course you were doing. Didn't you see all the people at home when they were doing their community rituals?
But I'm not magic like that, miss.
Well, nor are most of the people at home.
Well, they were. I saw it. I saw it with my own eyes. They danced and the fire got bigger and the shield got stronger. They were all magic, them was.
Truly, Bill. Come on, like last night.
All right, I try. Gets himself into the position.
And so you're aiding with shadow, and I'm doing light. And
Yep.
I didn't use all my light today. Did I use any of my light today?
I don't think so.
No,
I don't
didn't.
believe you did, no.
No, I didn't. Okay.
I think you gave one to Bill yesterday, but
I gave one to Bill, and I've used two.
Yesterday.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, last night in the overnight. So, all right. Okay, so we're inviting the light in, and we're inviting the light in, and absorbing it, and just soaking it in, and rolling wits. And with Bill helping me, I don't remember what my modifier was last time.
It was already, I think we did +2 with me helping you, because you got one for your
Yeah.
ability, right?
Yeah. Okay. Ooh.
So I think that's 3 light.
Mm-hmm.
Robin, don't forget your miss track for that arrow.
Well, you're filling that track faster than you're filling the vow one.
Hey, this
Yeah.
is good. This is good. That's his experience.
Yeah, it's
Okay, and
it's
so-
actually a fairly quick way to get experience if you fail a lot.
Yeah. Okay. So Mala's aglow with a little bit of shadow, and Bill is shadowed with a little bit of light.
I told you, miss, it didn't work half as well as it worked last night when you done it by yourself.
I didn't do it by myself last night. And as she's looking straight at you, you can actually see there's some of the light behind her eyes. But she hasn't looked at you as directly before, so you hadn't noticed that before.
I like what I see in you, Mr. Shaman. You're coming into your own, you are.
Oh, well, we'll see. The crows will bring me back to Earth.
You got some strange friends up in them trees, ma'am.
Yeah, I do at that.
And that's
So
coming
what's
from a man who talks to a cockroach.
so what's the watch order tonight? I'll take the darkest. Oh,
Is that a good
I
idea?
have to.
Well,
Well, we
then she'll
don't
be
exactly
awake.
know. Well, we don't exactly know when. We neither know if nor when Weena will come. We don't know if she came just before dawn because that's when she found us.
Mm.
And Amala suddenly gets a little bit of a guilty look on her face.
Well, I'm right beat. If you don't mind, I'll take last watch so I get most of a good night's sleep before then.
Gear will speak up. I'll go first then.
And now it begins.
Let's
My
see.
favorite
Sleeping in
time
the
of the
wild
day.
should be dangerous. So, gather information.
This is. Yeah, I'm not using my knowledge of woodland creatures, so I'm just gathering information. Oh, shocker.
Complicates your quest or introduces a new danger. You could ask the Oracle if you're looking for inspiration.
So,
What
oh, I
else
know
do
exactly
like?
what it is.
You get +1 momentum.
Oh, I love when he gets that
And
look.
+1 momentum. Oh,
Yep.
and this is my time. It's my time. It's right at the end of the game. So Gear is doing his watch, and this time he's far more observant of what's around him. And we're right on the border now. We're right on the border of the hinterlands, right?
Yep. I think so, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We are right about to pass into the hinterlands from Tempest Hills.
Yep.
So we are transitioning from this kind of foresty area into this different kind of environment. And Gear is kind of looking out where the trees begin to end and kind of dreading that because he lives in the trees, right? And he's keeping his watch and checking over his shoulder every so often, and this little creature is just right on his heels every move he makes, and he's kind of getting used to it following him around so closely, and he's casting his looks around, and he looks behind him and the creature is just gone. And he starts looking around for it, and he moves out, and there's this kind of clearing maybe 100 feet away from camp. He moves out, and there's just this white creature standing there, stark still, staring up at the sky over this hinterlands area. And the hair on the back of its neck is standing out, the tail is straight up in the air, and he looks at the creature and kind of follows its gaze up into the sky. And there is this beautiful, gigantic red owl, massive, that dips into the trees. And he looks
You
back
like
down
colorful
to this.
critters.
He looks back down to this wolf, this white wolf, and the tail is just wagging.
Oh. Hmm.
So Gear will move over to take. I guess he's waking up Ceridwen then, yeah?
Yep.
He moves over and he thinks about kicking her, and he's bends down and puts his hand on her shoulder and kind of shooka.
Gear.
Get up. It's your turn.
And she kind of is confused because she's like oddly civil, but she doesn't say anything.
What have you done with Gear?
Anything see anything?
A creature over the hinterlands. An owl. But it was red.
Red owl.
I know. Strange.
Okay. Yeah. Sleep well.
Maybe I need sleep.
To think as you lay down to go to sleep, the dog, the Wolfier, the white mane curls up against your back. You try and push it away and he just keeps coming back.
Yeah. After 2 or 3 pushes, he just kind of, whatever.
Yeah,
Just
lays down by your feet.
Fine.
Does that thing where you lay down by your feet just out of pushing range, so you can't quite push them off the end of the bed? Yeah. It's like,
Then when
"You
you're
bastard."
asleep, snuggles up
Right
close.
on your feet. Yeah, right behind your knees. Right
Yeah,
behind
so-
your knees, so you feel like you can't move. Yeah.
When Gear is kind of
None of
laying
us have
there,
pets, obviously.
he's sleeping with his eyes open, and the wolf just kind of walks up and puts its head on his chest with its ears still like.
Yeah.
I protect.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see.
There you go.
Wow. Okay.
Helpful
Cool
and
beans.
specific.
Gather some good information.
You get 2 momentum,
2 momentum.
and I would suggest this doesn't have to be an external thing at all. This could be something you put together in your head, right? I mean, you've been thinking about this all day. I'll stop now. I'm putting words in your face.
Yeah, she's got a lot to think about. Because she's had multiple run-ins with these traders. Brother. Information she has. And she realizes that these traders, if they just caught up with her, they left after her, obviously. And knowing how her steading works, they would possibly have more information about what Bryn said after he kind of recovered a bit.
Okay.
And so she comes to the realization that she might have to have an actual sit-down chat with one of them.
Yeah. Ooh. Wow. See, and
And
that for anybody
it's
who's watching this,
helpful.
that's how we deal with a strong hit. That's a
I mean,
positive thing right there.
It's helpful. It's helpful. It's
Yep.
specific. It's just a little bit harsh on the
Twisted.
pride.
Yes,
Her
absolutely.
pride is the only thing that's wounded in this fact.
Oh yeah, and that's perfect because that's her going through her character development, right? It's perfect. I love it.
And so, yeah, coming to that realization and going, yikes. And then she'll go and wake up Karis. Not Karis, Amala. I don't know why.
That's twice.
I just,
Twice.
given how many times I said Robin back several episodes ago, it's
Oh. So
I
yeah,
feel
she'll
comforted.
go over to Amala and kind of just tap her awake and kind of wake her up.
Mm.
Hi.
Oh, my
hi.
watch.
Yes.
Okay.
I didn't see anything troubling. So
Good.
Kier saw a red owl over in the distance towards the
Red owl?
hinterlands.
Like
Yeah.
the barn owl? No, those are brown.
He said red. I don't know. But I'm gonna go try to get some sleep.
Sleep. I'm on it. And I take a look at where Wolfern is, and I take a look at, kind of look around and sort of note what crows are in the area and where they're roosting.
Mm-hmm.
And I wait until Ceridwen's breathing changes, indicating that she's deeper asleep. And I go over. I know I should have said something. She'll forgive me. And she goes over and sits down by her and rests a hand sort of lightly over by her shoulder and centers herself and her shadow form steps out. Okay. I'm anchored. I've taken some precautions. I sort of look over at Wolfrin again in the shadow form. And Wolfrin gives has a knowing gleam in her eyes.
And you said in this form you see her in more of her true form?
I see
No,
the
that was in the
hints of
light.
it. It was in the light. It was in the light
Right,
that
in the
washed
radiance.
that she
Right.
was that I saw her in her true form.
Right.
But in this, I see the hints of the true form.
Right.
In the shadow side. And I take a deep breath, and Strong Call wakes up and pays attention and gives sort of an inquiring caw. It's like, I'm gonna try it. Let's see, let me do the shadow walk. I'm gonna burn the momentum.
Yep.
Oof.
Okay, so now shadow walk. Okay, weak hit as above, but the shadows attempt to lead me astray, and I must first face danger. So this is before I gather the information.
Yep.
It was a hit, so it is a weak hit now, so I'll be able to do my gathering information. But
face danger first. And using shadow one
Considered.
assumes? Yeah.
No.
Or were you doing
I'm
something
gonna
else?
rely on my strength of wits.
Okay, think your way through this. All right.
I'm gonna think my way through this because I think I'm more operating with intent here.
Yes.
And let's see, I don't get any modifiers because of the because that was only a weak hit.
Yep.
Another weak hit
Mm-hmm.
on the facing danger.
You succeed, but faced a troublesome cost. You are delayed, lose advantage, or face a new danger. You are tired or hurt. You are dispirited or afraid, or you sacrifice resources.
I'm going to take the one harm. Take that down to 3. And
so physically hurt.
So as I walk out, I project my shadow to the edge of Kinheim.
Wow.
And
so much for a watch.
Oh, this is way more interesting.
I'm not very watchful. Yeah, I'm not really paying attention. I did have a guilty look earlier.
Yep.
So I'm on the edge of Kinheim, and I am in the shadow, and I am going to now gather information. Oh yeah, with wits.
Yep.
And no bonuses, because I'm still working on weak hits. More weak hit.
Another weak hit. The information complicates your quest or introduces a new danger. Take one momentum and tell us what happened.
Momentum. So, standing there in shadow form, with no protector standing over me this time, but I have the anchor I have the tether that she doesn't know about unless she can see it. I don't know if she can see it. I could see them. but so I stand there and and I'm observing and I'm watching and I'm trying to see what Weena does in the shadows.
You're spying on Weena?
Using her own ritual?
Wow!
Oh,
This is
okay,
a
so
bold move.
Balls.
This is
I
absolutely.
should have missed.
If
I
you
should
don't
have
die here,
missed.
if you don't
The fact
die
that
during this, you are definitely moving your vow forward. There's no question about that.
And your
So,
threat track.
quite possibly, yes.
so weak hit tells me that I'm sort of successful and I get away with this.
Yep. But
But
something
I'm
about what you
interpreting
learn.
that she sees I think she's going to see the traces that I was there. I
Okay.
don't think I'm not going to face her this time. Not if I
Yep.
had a miss, I would absolutely.
Well,
face her.
fair enough, yeah. So as you're leaving, you see that you've left traces?
I don't know.
Oh, even
Oh yeah,
okay.
even better.
Oh, so you
I don't
okay.
know that I've left traces because I'm a novice at the shadow thing.
Absolutely. So what information did you gather? Because you got
So,
something. You succeeded.
I am I am sort of watching and I'm trying to pay attention to what Bill told me about hiding in the shadows and they can't see you. And so I've got in my mind, I've got I'm thinking over and over, you can't see me, you can't see me, you can't see me, you can't see me. I'm thinking invisible thoughts. And so I do in the shadows, I do see the shadows kind of spiraling a little bit around the shaman's hut. So she is doing something. She is working with shadow in the night. And I'm a novice enough that I'm not quite clear on what she's doing with it, but I'm starting to observe the patterns.
Okay.
And so I'll get more of the patterns probably later.
Absolutely. That makes perfect sense.
And then using my tether, I mean, the shadows tried to keep me away, but I made the preparation of having my tether there.
Yep.
So I'm a little worried that I'm not going to make it back. I mean, there's a time when it's kind of no, remember, I've got my tether, focus on that, follow that thread back. And I managed to get back. And just before I re-enter my body, I turn to Strongkai. I say, did I miss anything here I should have seen? And she laughs at me. Of course she laughs at me. Yeah, I know. You're going to tell me off in the morning. And the Wolfren is still watching me with that sort of almost amused gleam.
Yeah.
They settle back into my body. And I sort of take a perfunctory watch and I sort of take a look over at the other. Okay, stuff seems quiet over at that other camp.
Nobody's murdered.
Yeah.
Nobody's murdered. I don't see anything out of place. I think I got away with it.
Gear's eyes are still open, which means he's actually asleep.
Okay. And I go over to wake Bill for his watch.
And he wakes up and sees you, and there's just a moment of terror. He's like, she's going to kill me in my sleep. Oh, no, okay. Okay.
It's your watch, Bill.
All right, miss. Any activity over the evening?
It seems quiet.
All right, then.
You apparently saw a red owl. I don't know what that is, but I didn't. But Ceridwen hasn't seen anything, and I haven't seen anything.
Red owl. That's right. Weird, that is. Well, I'll ask him about it at breakfast. All right, you sleep well, Shaman.
Thank you. I'll lay down and go to sleep.
And, yeah, I'm just going to pay attention. As he always does, it's a sneak, right? Oops, I keep doing it on this sheet, and that's not the right sheet. Gather information. Bang. With my shadow, because he's sneaking, and this gives me... oh, wow. They've made a change.
What?
Okay.
Now, when you look at the stat where it says shadow, it shows me a list of all the things that modify my shadow ability afterwards. It is a list to remind me. Let's see if it automatically added them.
Nice.
Let's see if it added them. If not, I add 1 to this.
I don't think so.
Nope.
I don't think it added anything.
No, it didn't. So that's actually a 5. But I will still
Still
burn.
a weak hit.
Yeah, it's a weak hit. That's all I need. Complicates
That's kind of
sequester,
what we
introduces
prefer.
new danger.
Our favorite.
Yeah,
We
plus
get- oh, goody,
1
goody.
plus 1 momentum. Let's do that.
Plus
I
1
think.
momentum, plus 1 complication.
Yes. Well, the complication's easy. Gear seen a red owl, did he? All right then. Let's go looking for red owls, Feet. And me and Feet start looking and cruising around and wandering about. And we have no idea where it is because he didn't tell us. Nobody told us it was in the clearing or anything else. So we're just wandering around. And he does not find the red owl, but I've been waiting to do this for weeks, and I'm going to make Austin. I am going to make Austin so happy right now because I'm going to use for the very first time. I'm going to use the delve moves
Okay.
and wandering off into the trees in the middle of the night, looking for red owls. That's not the one I was looking for, I don't think. Is it?
That sort of looks like you make negative
Oh, yes. No,
progress
that- I
with
see.
finding them.
Yeah, so I get to it. I forgot how this works. So I get to this place, and let's see what it is, because I did discover a site. And now we can do... where is it? There is a... Oh, is it Delve the Depths? Is that the one?
And I didn't tell Ceridwen this, but that owl was like the size of a truck.
Yeah, I
Right.
know. Yeah, yeah.
I thought there was
And
a
she didn't even tell me
move-
it was large.
Oh, no, it's
She
an
just said the
oracle.
game.
That's
She
why
didn't
I'm
know
getting
it was
this wrong.
large.
The game
It's
of
an
telephone.
oracle.
Well, she didn't know it was large. She just knew it was an owl that was red.
Okay, I'm confused. It's not a move. Is it an oracle that is the move I'm looking for, or the thing I'm looking for is the description of what we just found?
Isn't
an
that
oracle.
themes and domains?
Or
Is that
delve
with themes and
oracles.
domains? That's the one. Thank you very much. That's the
Mhm.
one I was looking for.
It's
Come on,
just a
go to themes and
separate-
domains. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a separate thing.
Oh, and it doesn't actually roll. Well, okay. 2, 3,
There's
4,
also
5,
there's also the
6.
delve oracles on the next tab over.
Yeah.
That's probably
which
the
is
one I was
site-
looking for because I know there's a place.
yeah.
That's the one I'm looking for. The
Yeah,
site.
because there's a domain and a theme. Yeah.
Site name description. Is this what I want? Yes. So it is a frozen,
Oh yes.
I mean,
I
it was
pictured-
winter.
misty
I pictured the hinterlands as a frozen wasteland.
cavern.
Hmm.
So while searching for this owl, stumbling through the trees at night in the shadows, sort of, Bill is just kind of not there. When he's in the shadows, he's almost not there. He is quieter than Gear when he's moving in shadows, and he's just flowing. And he comes to a stop, and well, that's cold, isn't it, Feet? And it's coming right up my leg. And he looks down, and there's a bunch of grass and stuff, and he starts ripping a hole. And the more he rips, the more this wind starts coming out at him. Well, that's the end of my bravery, Feet. We're going to go back and tell everybody else about this. We're not going down there by ourselves. No way, no way, no way.
Smart man.
And he takes a couple of rocks and piles them like one on top of the other because it's going to be hard to find this again. And then heads back to camp and waits till morning. Which I think, given the time, is probably a good place to drop the curtain on this evening. So next week, we're going to do the equivalent of a dungeon crawl in Ironsworn and see how the delve mechanics work. So that's going to be fun. Good thing we got two.
You and your
absolute.
dungeon crawls lately.
I know. You know what? I was thinking. This? If you really want the story behind, not necessarily this, but dungeon crawls. I was thinking a couple weeks ago. We did a dungeon crawl type adventure over on Ye Old Mercs of Mischief, and I was laughing because a lot of the people that were in the game did not, quote unquote, do it right. The old school dungeon crawls, right? There's some rules to old school dungeon crawling, and I realized they simply don't know them. So I thought, well, what fun. Let's take some people that don't know the 3 rules to surviving in a dungeon crawl and put them in a dungeon. So tonight we did it with 4 people who do know the rules to dungeon crawling, but in an entirely different system. So this should be very, very interesting.
But even if we know the rules, we have a propensity to fail on purpose.
Oh yes, and make complicated decisions
Yeah.
and all kinds of goodies. So, with that, wow. Let's go around the circle. Whew. I see 1, 2, 3. Everybody took a deep breath except for Austin, so he gets to go first. Austin, when you're tell us about your Monday game.
Oh man, we're doing some crazy stuff. It's again a group of DMs, and so we're all challenging each other, trying to learn from each other, showing off what we're good at, and trying to learn from what we're bad at. But it's pretty interesting. On Monday, we made the DM of that session go, wow, I did not see that coming.
Excellent.
That's you
That
can
is-
always
that is a
tell
success.
that's a good session.
That's
So,
where in your head you give yourself inspiration, whether the DM give it to you or not. It's like, there's a D6 sitting there for me.
but yeah, it was fun. Classes are canceled because of this whole crisis, so
Yep.
I actually got to sleep in this morning.
Ooh.
That's
Yeah,
where all the
it's a
energy came
luxury.
from tonight. Now I get it. Oh, perky and
Yeah,
well,
I
that
got
and 4 Red Bulls.
I got sleep.
Oh, what's that like? Please tell me.
It's wonderful. It's like rolling a weak hit on your gather information. Best
And you
feeling in
see
the
a
world.
blank, a blank white screen within plain text. Got sleep.
And I don't think that one's trademarked, so.
No, we should be all right with that one. And I'm not going to ask you how Gear dealt with tonight. Gear headbutted sheep most of tonight, so Gear getting going. So
Yeah.
And
he
wore a bear.
did-
yeah.
He did tell Ceridwen that he wanted to help her.
Yeah.
Yes, that's
and
true. He committed to
there
this
was
cause.
a very
Yeah.
good heart-to-heart kind of.
Yeah.
almost.
Yeah, there
In
was.
his own kind of heartless way.
Yeah.
Yeah. The character development in this is blowing my mind, as always. Speaking of character development, let's just, and the other 2 are going, what, who, me? Which one? Everybody did it tonight. You just still don't know who I'm talking about. Let's start with Karis and Amala. Wow, I did not see that coming. There, I'll just give you that right now.
Well, I mean, what else was she gonna do? Because if she just huddled in fear, Lena would have come again and attacked her. It's like, okay, I'm gonna take it to her, because if I don't, I'm gonna be vulnerable. This is the only
Yeah.
chance I have. And Gear told me I earned my iron, so
Oh,
Did this?
it's all his fault.
Now I'm going to ask Karis a question. Did you think Amala was going to find her confidence this quick? We're only 8 episodes in.
It's the jacket. It's the jacket.
It's the jacket.
It's not. Well, there have been hints.
Mm-hmm.
And the first time she shadow walked when she came out of it, and there've been some hints, and it's going to go back and it's going to go dormant again for a while.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And you do many things. I mean, every time we bring up your thing over in chat, there's just like all these links to it. What? Give us a précis.
So what I've been largely doing now for the past week, with lots of kids out of school and so forth, we're getting on the public Minecraft server that
Oh, nice.
I also play on. We're getting more kids,
Sure.
and so I kind of figured, we need more adults in the room. So I have not been on my whitelisted, I have not been working on my streaming or my videos on the whitelisted world. I've been just playing over on the public server to sort of just be another adult in the room and keeping things from getting too badly out of hand. And
Perfect.
So.
Well,
So that's what I've been doing, which isn't on there, but the links to it I think are both in my YouTube channel, and that it's vanillahigh.net is the.
There you go. Even your links have links. That's how busy you are. And then over there beside me, Ceridwen, played by Robin, married.
What?
That came out of
Sneak
nowhere.
that in there.
Isn't she like in her mid-20s? That's not so surprising.
Yeah, I guess it's not abnormal, but
30?
yeah. Just,
Okay, so.
No one ever asked.
that's true. That is absolutely fair. No one ever asked, and it's not like when I said I scanned you up and down and said you don't look married. I almost said I scanned your hand, and then I realized there's no way that they would be wearing gold wedding bands in the Bronze Age. So
Nope.
it's just
And they don't do that in her area anyway.
No,
That's
you
not what they
you
do.
just don't look married. So yeah.
No, because she doesn't want to be.
Yeah,
And more of that will come out later.
absolutely. And
you've
tell
done
us,
art. You've done
yes, tell us about the art.
Yes. I've got actually lots of art coming out. I have just finished season 2 portraits for Deadlands, which Kevin runs over on the Mercs of Mischief channel. Baptiste got
Universal
unveiled.
hotness rating of 12 out of 10 is what Baptiste got.
After drawing him, realized I had drawn either Keanu Reeves or Adam Driver. Hadn't planned it. It happened. The thirst meter went up apparently. And that happened, and I'm sure the other character art is going to be released soon or unveiled soon.
Next week, yeah, absolutely.
And then, on more personal terms, I finished up I had these sketches done a while ago, but finished up some drawings for NPCs that we've had, including Miradel, Shaman Mina, Berengar, and Shenda. And then just today, I finished up the PC art that I have. All of this is over on the wiki and also on my Twitter. And so all of that's there. And so, that's what I
the link to the Twitter is over there in the chat. The link to everything else, I believe, is underneath. Yes, the Deadlands art gained universal acclaim and many woohoos. I'm not gonna lie, there was some woohooing. Sarah in particular is particularly fond. Miss Alice is very fond of the new Baptiste art. In fact, she pinched the new Baptiste art ass last week. So
Yep.
and
so when I'm not doing art,
yes.
I am the lore librarian of the wiki.
Yes, and
not just ours.
And not just ours, as I understand it.
No, because I have a copious amount of time on my hands, I also helped curate the actual playlist on the Ironsworn wiki. I have the link right here I can put in there, but basically it's a wiki that was created on the Ironsworn Discord that they just recently started, and they wanted a place to collect all the actual plays. And
thank you.
I went through the links of the one actual play section all the way back to earlier late 2018, I think.
And there's at least 2 or 3 every day for that length of time.
I didn't, and it was just it wasn't the repeat ones. There are a lot of repeat ones, but there are a lot of solo plays. There are a lot of co-ops, and there are, I think, there's 1 or 2 ones that are GM'd, and all manner of written and audio and video.
Yeah, so people are getting really artistic over there with their story descriptions. Rather than doing a video, they write the story after they're done, and some of them are amazing. And there are some very talented authors over there who could be making some money doing that. But we'll leave that on the table. And I am Kevin, also known as Dirty 20 Gaming, also known as Guy on the Mercs of Mischief over on that Too Many Warlocks, Tangled in Eldritch String Season 2. Whew, that's getting to be a mouthful. Our magnificent and benevolent Dungeon Master, Puck, runs games now in the Avalon Knights world Sunday, Monday, and Thursdays. In fact, if you're waiting for us, he starts their Thursday game at 5:30, and then if you saw it tonight, they came over and raided us afterwards. So all three of those nights set in the same world with the group of people. And then on Tuesday nights, I run Deadlands for them, where they are, as we mentioned tonight, in the middle of a dungeon crawl. But it's not just any dungeon crawl. It is a dungeon crawl in Fort 51. So anybody who has ever played Cowboys versus Aliens, tune in on Tuesday, because it's coming.
They're all very scared and all very unsure, and one is very gooey.
Yeah, they haven't seen a single bad person yet. They haven't seen a single evil thing. They've seen a little bit of evidence, and they're just pooping themselves. It's perfect. I am so enjoying myself. And then on Wednesdays, I run a game with two of these three people, with Austin and Robin and three of my other friends in an off-stream game. You can look for that one all you want. You won't find it. It's not out there. And then Thursdays, I do this, and keep your eye out on Fridays and or Saturdays, either here or at Mercs of Mischief. Many more things may be coming to light. And with all of that said, oh my goodness. I didn't talk much in game tonight. Apparently, I just have a need to get all some words out now. With that, my standard 5 thank yous. 1 for Robin, 1 for Karis, 1 for Austin, 1 for the people watching on Twitch, and 1 for the people watching on YouTube. Thank all of you, and we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.